So hello, everybody. It is me, Demetra K, and this is the Demetra K Show, where we promote Black love, knowledge, and understanding of all things that go on in the Black community to make us an even better people, with the emphasis on even, because we are a great people, but we can always strive to do better. I also like to say a big giant thank you and welcome to Donovan, the recovering Democrat Sadiq, as he sits here as co-host on Sundays and on our podcast that is not live on Tuesday. Also like to say hello to YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter, the other side of the conversation. You all are not just viewers, but you are the third co-host, because we do read your questions, comments, and concerns, because we feel like you should be heard as well. Also like to say thank you to Marcus Guyton for everything he does behind the scenes on Facebook to make the show go even further. So who do we have on here? Beverly, how are you doing? Say, I hope Brittney Griner has learned her lesson, or Griner. I always say her name wrong. Lawrence Lily, how you doing? Says greetings from Nashville, Tennessee. All right now. And Tawana, hello, beautiful. And GA Fit Health, how are you? And Robin, what's going on? Donovan, what say you before we get started?
Well, welcome, you guys. Let's get started. How about those Cowboys? Once again, they pulled it out at the end and they beat the Texans.
We can't hear you.
You can't hear me.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you. Hold on, let me go out and come back.
Okay. Uh-oh. Now I'm frozen. So hopefully y'all can see and hear me or whatever. And then when Donovan comes back, then okay, there I am. This thing is acting weird. So Donovan, he's for whatever reason can't hear him. So hopefully when he comes back, we can hear him. Bogani, how are you doing this fine Sunday? So today we are going to talk about Brittney Griner. Of course, you guys know that she is free from a Russian prison. We'll get into all of that in just a second. Here he is. Let's see if we can hear him now. Sorry about that. It is crazy. So y'all can hear us both. I just can't hear him. So maybe it's my end. All right. So let's see.
Can't even see. But there you go. You just popped it. Can you hear me now? Yes, no, maybe so.
Hold on. It might be my end. Can I say something?
Hello. Test.
Okay. So I'm going to leave and come back. So okay. Carry on. I'll be right back.
Okay, great. Okay, how about those Cowboys? The internet system and StreamYard has done an upgrade, so it's messing everybody up. So sorry about that, you guys, as we get started with this. We want to thank you guys for coming in. It is Sunday. When it's Sunday, you know it's Demetra K. Here in Southern California, it is raining, which we need, but that means that there's going to be snow up on the slopes and all the things up there in Big Bear and all these places. So there's going to be plenty of snow on the mountains now. I live 60 miles east of Los Angeles, out there where the mountains are. And so this is a big time of year for those snowboarders and people that do that. But a really big topic here. People have been talking about Brittney Griner and her situation. See if Demetra works now. Can you hear it now?
I can hear you now. So okay, I guess it was as my end. I apologize. Yeah. Sometimes when I try to upload videos, they get to acting up. So I won't upload that video. It was a short one anyway. So I don't know what you said, but you guys, I apologize for that. So who else came on here? So, okay, y'all said y'all all heard him. So it was me. My apologies. All right. So let's see. Who do we have? Yvette, how are you doing? And Anima, how are you? I hope I said that right. And Andre, what's going on? Sherry and Angela, you say, hello, I've been missing you because my mom was on life support 2 weeks, but Father God is a healer. She is on rehab now. Looking forward to today's show. Blessing. Yes, I am so glad she is doing so much better. Brother Don, how are you? And let's see who else. Black America, what's going on? And Gilvetta, what's going on? Jan Michael and Eli, long time no see. How are you? All right. So anyway, my apologies. Let's go ahead and get started. So as you guys know, Brittney Griner, the WNBA superstar, was in a Russian prison since February of this year due to being caught going to customs with cartridges of cannabis. And so she had all these trials and things like that. And she ended up being sentenced to 9 years, right? It was a pretty hard sentence, 9 years. And so America, they were, so from what they're saying, in conversation talks with the Russian government to try to get Brittney free. So as you guys know, a couple of days ago, she ended up gaining her freedom. they exchanged her for an arms dealer that was in custody over here, Victor Bolt. I think that's how you say his last name. He's an arms dealer. I think he was serving like 25 years. He did like 4 years or something like that. So they did an exchange. And so Brittney is now here in the States. I'm assuming at this point reunited with her family. But the homegoing wasn't that well received by a lot of people, right? Now, of course, you guys may know that there is another person held, as a couple people rather, but Paul Whelan especially, he is the Marine that was caught for espionage. So they say he was arrested for espionage, and I don't know what his sentence is, but it's pretty long. It's been over there for a while. And so, of course, certain sector, and I would say even Black people were like, well, that's not a fair exchange. She's just a basketball player, and he's a Marine. He fought for this country, and she didn't want to kneel for the flag and all this other stuff. And how dare Biden and them make a negotiation for her? Well, as the White House was saying, now, I don't know how true it is because I'm not in the meetings. They said that they were never negotiating for the release of her and Paul Whelan. It was always a discussion between about Brittney and Victor. Those are only two that they were talking about. And so they said that they have not given up on trying to get Paul Whelan home, but it was never in the works in the first place. Now, Paul Whelan's family did release a statement. They said that we are not mad that they exchanged Brittney for Paul. They said, we understand that they're over there on two different things. He's, caught up on espionage charges, whether it's true or not. And she got caught up on, a cannabis, cartridges of cannabis. So they said, we understand that their cases are not the same. So we are not mad. We are not hurt or anything like that. So they're basically telling people, relax, okay? The people that should be mad is us. And we're not terribly mad, although they want their loved one home. But it's not, to the point of where y'all should have kept her and let our loved one go. And so let's have a short discussion or a long discussion. And anything else y'all want to talk about today, please throw it in the chat as to why people are so salty about Brittney coming home. And I would say, too, from our community, I've seen a lot of people, men and women, saying some pretty horrible things like, oh, they shouldn't have released her and she's not worth the trade. And they've even brought her sexuality into it and just a whole bunch of other stuff. And I'm like, well, damn, regardless of how we feel about Brittney, she still belongs to our community as a Black person. So, Donovan, what say you? And then I'll jump in the comment section.
All right. I want to keep this too long because our co-hosts there have a lot of great comments in the thing. Okay. Victor, whatever his name is, known as the arms dealer of death. They actually did a movie with him starring Nicolas Cage. That's how significant this man was in regards to capitalism in the open arms market. Now, this guy is dealing weapons that will and can be used against our allies and against Americans. So was it a good trade? Anybody that could see that was absolutely not a good trade. As you guys also know, Brittney Griner was refused to come out for the national anthem being played. And she constantly talks about the disparity of race relations within the United States. Wholeheartedly, absolutely, she has to do that stuff. But Demetra, what do I say to people constantly on this show? America has a lot of problems, and I've traveled the world all of my life. And I'm going to tell you, as jacked up as this country is, when it comes to individual rights, it's the best thing going. It's the best thing going. So hopefully, now that Brittney is home, she will appreciate, because it's kind of funny. I don't want to stand for the national. I don't want to do that. When you get over there and you get arrested, get me out. Help. I need help, America. Help me. Okay, so she learned her lesson, right? Unfortunately, if you're asking me, I don't think she will. And this is why I say this. That great prophet Rick James said this: cocaine is one hell of a drug. And a lot of people who have a weed addiction, think about it. She had been going to Russia for over 7 years. So she kind of knew the ins and outs of what was happening. She must have a serious addiction to marijuana, and it ain't the Bob Marley marijuana back in the day. This shit now is laced with stuff. So I have no doubt she's going to come back here, PTSD and traumatized, and she will revert right back to doing what it was that put her in the gulags in Russia again. Period.
Hello, LS. So yes, I was reading some of your comments. Yeah, I mean, whether she learns a lesson or not, I just feel like, at, even as an American citizen, so what they tell us, that's her right not to want to stand for the flag or sing the national anthem. That is her right. That I think right that she's given as an American citizen. So I don't think any of that should be contingent upon her being negotiated for. Uh, will she learn a lesson? I would think that she would, but yeah, and to the other point of Victor Bout, him being a dangerous arms dealer is like, well, I mean, the other thing too is, and I saw somebody, I think it was Kiana, I think it was you, talking about all the people that's in jail over here. So it's like it's a lot of levels here. United States, they wanted Brittney home, and I think she should have came home. But then it's like you got people here in prisons in the States serving jail time, prison time for what she did and less, and doing even a lot more time. So it's like it's a lot going on there, right? So anyway, Todd and Tasha podcast, how are you doing? Says Dimitri, do you miss or regret leaving Los Angeles for Houston? Yes. Absolutely. 100% yes. And Kubler, how you doing? He says, Brittney, I'm about to put up Wilt Chamberlain numbers in the next season. Wow. Okay. What numbers are you talking about?
Wilt Chamberlain scored 100 points in the game, and his averaging was like 50.
He also had, what did he say, 20,000 women he slept
10,000 women, yeah, in his time, yeah.
So that's why I was like, what numbers? Gilvetta, you say welcome to the Demetra K channel. Yes, indeed. And Tawana said Rick James, yes, and W of Israel, how you doing? He says at the end of the day, it was all about politics for sure. That's another thing. We know why they did that. It was to say, Black people, look what we did for you. We got Brittney home, and it's like, no. Let's not go too far, right? Y'all didn't do that for Black people. That only benefits Brittney. That doesn't benefit Black people. Like, Brittney being free is great, and it's symbolic, but it does not put food on our table that Brittney is free. It does not stop police officers from murdering Black people wholesale. It does not reduce the prison population. It does not give us reparations. So that was for Brittney. We're glad she's home. However, we still, as Black people in America, have a lot of things we are asking for. So indeed. And then LS, she says, you sure she's a she? You know what? I don't get all up on the people's clothes like that. Angela says, if I'm not mistaken, that was for medical purposes. Yes, over here, I guess she could do that, but taking that over there, not so much.
Yeah, well, I answered Angela's thing. No, that isn't for medical purposes. The cannabis is banned in the WNBA. So obviously that's not for medical purposes, or she wouldn't be a player.
Yes, and the obvious truth, she said, I disagree with Biden that BG stands for all the best about America. Yeah, I saw that tweet, and it's like, okay, well, I don't know. I don't really follow Brittney like that. I know she plays basketball. Learned a lot more about her when she was arrested in Russia, but I don't know, right? And Naima, and I probably, if I'm saying it wrong, please let me know. He says, I don't stand up during the anthem either. Yeah, a lot of people don't, right? And
and you know what? That's one of the great things about this country. You have a right not to stand up and do what it is you think you need to do to express your rights. I mean, absolutely. But when you go to other countries, your rights mean nothing, and that's what Brittney Griner and a lot of Americans don't understand. That term "ugly American," that's where that comes from. We think because we're Americans, we can go to any other country and our rules apply. That's not the case. And that's the problem. She admitted she did it. There's no doubt she did it. She dodged a bullet. Great for her. I'm really glad about it. But maybe now, because like I said, I can tell you I served this country for 24 years. I'm still wearing the hat. I'm still very proud that I served. But I am one of the first people that will tell you how jacked up this country is in regards to race relations and the poor and all this other stuff that goes on here. But I'm not stupid enough to say that I don't appreciate where I'm at, because even in Britain, in Canada, their rules of custody is totally different than the United States and the representation. Try to sneak into Mexico illegally, like they do with us. They come over here illegally. The borders are open, but you try to sneak into their country, hopefully they will get to you within it. Have you guys heard of that Cabo 6 thing? Look what's going on there. if those people get charged and get arrested, hopefully they will be seen by a judge within a year if they can survive the prison within that year. So there's a lot to it. So, let this be a cautionary lesson to those going overseas and abroad. Appreciate the United States and the resources that we have, because in a lot of countries, you go over there, you're on your own.
Yes, indeed. And Artemis, how are you doing? And Quita Ward, thank you so much for that comment. He says, hi, my understanding is that the Soviet Union said they put this offer on the table, and that was the only thing they were interested in discussing was about Brittney. Yes, so it was all, Paul was never a topic of conversation. It was always about Brittney and Victor. So they wanted Victor, and so Victor had, how much I think they said he had less than 10 years on his sentence. So eventually the man was going to be free, right? So, and he's in his 50s.
Yeah.
So he's still relatively young. So, I mean, eventually he was going to be free. So it's like, if I was in the negotiations at the White House, I'd be like, okay, he's got less than 10 years left on the sentence. Is it worth making her serve 9 years when, he's eventually going to be, because it's not like they had him for life. He was going to be free. So I could see that. But, obviously Paul Whelan, the Marine, he's got a lot more serious circumstances over there. In a lot of countries, you could be put to death for espionage. And in some cases, you could be put to death for, and I've covered a story about I think she was Nigerian, South African.
Yeah, South African, that smuggled drugs.
Young woman who was smuggling drugs to Bangladesh from South Africa, and they are talking about giving her the death penalty. Whether they did it or not, I don't know. So the point that I'm making is, what we put up with over here and consider a lesser charge, not so much in a lot of other countries. So Paul, in some regards, I guess is lucky to be alive.
Yeah, Singapore, Thailand, the Philippines, it's a death sentence to smuggle in drugs, and weed is considered a drug.
Yeah, absolutely. Anything that inebriates you. In some countries, like, now we not gonna play that at all. And Dr. Chris, how are you doing? You say true that, Donovan. And Eli, you say truth. And Jamarcus, what's going on with you? And Raymond, how you doing? He says, in the Philippines, this would have been a death sentence. See, I should have read that. Absolutely. And Miss Jackson, how are you doing? He says, what I don't understand is the media is still trying to push the narrative that she was wrongfully detained when she had the stuff and pled guilty. Clearly, she will be a fake hero. Yeah, I mean, she said that she pled guilty, but some people were saying too that she kind of almost had to. That was the only way that they would consider negotiating, is that she had to plead guilty. Whether she was or not, I know she probably was, but they said that was kind of a technicality that needed to happen in order for them to even discuss renegotiating for her. And so let's see here. Angela says it was THC oil, and it was for medical purposes. Please research. She was prescribed THC for severe pain, according to her attorney. So yes, I did hear that as well. And obvious truth, she says, Bout gave a very—
You got to remember, though, an attorney is there you got to you got to remember, attorney's there to provide a defense. That was the defense that he used. It was a BS defense, as obviously it didn't work, but he had to provide some sort of defense. The point is this, Angela, in professional sports, there are certain drugs you are not allowed to use. To be a player in the WNBA, you cannot use any form of cannabis. It is on the banned list, or you will be a banned player. So, I mean, I'm not trying to refute you. I have this new show that I call, it's called Critical Thinking, and it just makes you think and look at the facts and take your emotions out of it. If the WNBA has that policy, she would never be a player. So obviously, it wasn't for medical purposes. That's not true.
Yes. So W. Israel says Donovan is on point with this comment. I served in the Navy for 20 years, and I've seen a lot of military personnel left overseas because they committed crimes. Yes, indeed. And Gilvetta, you say, well, we know rules are different. We see that with the case of Shanquella Robinson and how they went that went down. Yeah, I mean, because it happened in Mexico. They're still trying to, I guess, figure out between the United States and Mexico what to do with the people who are potentially, guilty of doing that to her. And Kiana says, remember when China sent that young white boy back on his deathbed? He died a few days later after arriving home. So it was, I think it was South Korea.
North Korea. No, it was North Korea.
North Korea. That was His name was Otto Wambier. And what he did was he took a flag, and he said he got caught taking the flag, which you think is kind of minor, but he said he was taking it to his grandma, but he was, a rich kid, just kind of, I'ma take it. And I really believe it was political, and then to basically show him, well, you can do that over there, you can't do that over here. And then, like you said, they pretty much sent him home a vegetable, and he died a couple of days later. So yeah, when you go over to other people's country, you just mind your, pints and quarters, as they would say, and so you can come back home, And Andre says, Guevara say that. And Arson, how are you doing? He says, how are you guys? We're doing well. He says, what I'm going to say, Demetra stole my thunder remark. So many blacks are spending years on similar charges and should be out. Many levels to this, all political in the end. Yeah, I mean, we want Brittney home, but we also want the people home that are in prison here for, doing the same thing she did, right? They're doing years, 25 to life, and stuff like that. So it's like, yeah, Brittney is special, but what about the people here too, Biden? Since a lot of them are in there due to his crime bills, right? And Kubler says, Demetra, you're looking, thank you so much. I appreciate that. And Obvious Truth just says, it was a BS defense, came up after she said accidentally packed it. Wasn't THC, hashish, if I recall. Yes, that's exactly what it was. And Kenneth, how are you doing? He says, does critical thinking tell you that 9 years is too long for such a drug charge? And if that is the case, that she was more than a political prisoner than simply catching a drug charge? Yeah, I totally agree.
No, we agree with...
Hold on. I think it just really was like a perfect storm. That the war was jumping off. She happened to, whether she was guilty or not, she got caught in customs with that. And so it was like, okay, we got one. Because it wasn't Brittney's first time being in Russia. She played for a team over there. So I think it was just a perfect storm.
Yeah, no, Kenneth, exactly. Critical thinking gets thrown out the door when you're in other people's countries. See, right now, you're going by what you feel as an American is excessive. In Russia, 9 years is the minimum. I think it's even more than that if you get caught in a drug situation in Russia. So they kind of gave her a break. But see, I guess I don't know your background, Kenneth, but that's what I'm talking about. You get your emotions in, and I'm an American and it's excessive and I'm just, this liberal person. No, you can't think like that when you go to other countries. It's different over there. Now, if you're asking me as an American, is that excessive? Personally, here in America, yes, I would say that is excessive. As an American, that's excessive. But in Russia, no, it's not.
Yes, indeed. Yeah, I mean, you can't tell them what to do in their country. I'll give you a perfect example. I remember his name, so forgive me, but it was a soccer journalist that was found deleted over in Qatar, because that's where they're having the World Cup, right? But a couple of weeks ago, and I don't know, he's married, but I don't know why he had the shirt on, but he had on like gay pride or something shirt on. And so he was trying to go into one of the events, one of the games, and they told him no. So he gets all on Twitter and he's talking about how they won't let him over there, this, that, and the other. So I was like, yo, you know what? Don't go to another country and try to be American. Like, just go make it do what it do. Don't cause any problems. And a lot of people were telling him that. And do you know this man woke up dead? I said woke up dead. Woke up dead yesterday. They said that he fell ill and he died. And I'm like, I don't know what happened to the man, but we do know they do like to poison people in other countries. And so it's like why go to other people's countries and try to be doing all of that? Over here in America, you can wear all the pride shirts and stuff you want, but in Qatar, you're trying to do all of that? And then you tweet about it, and you didn't tweet about it from the tarmac of the plane that was taken off. You tweeted about it and you still over there. So it's like, ugh. I just think they'll probably say, yeah, something happened to this man. He's sipping on some bad coffee up over here. I don't know. But yeah, you need to, yeah, who said that? When in Rome? Andre, yep, when in Rome, do what the Romans do. Don't be over there trying to do what Americans do. You ain't got no rights. And Michael, you say, I will be discussing which African countries are LGBT friendly and which African countries are not LGBT friendly. I don't know. I don't sound like that's a lot of them that are. And Andre says, now that Cinema has declared independent, is she another recovering Democrat? No, she's actually another rediscovering Republican.
Right. Well, but the thing is, and and that's a good topic to talk about, because you got to really think about it. Think about what she said. You might not agree with her doing what she's doing, but think about what she said. it is not right that just because she identifies as a Democrat, that she has to do whatever the Democratic line is. And that's our problem. Everybody's Democrats, so they're holding the Democratic line. Well, what is the Democratic line? No reparations, nothing else. I kind of agree with her moving to that area of saying, I want to be independent. That way I can vote here and I can vote there. And they're not going to just assume my vote. 63 Congressional Black Caucus members, they vote the Democratic Party line rather than vote what is best for the people that put them into office to get us some tangibles.
Yes, indeed. And who is that? Angela says that you are incorrect about the NBA not knowing about it, that they were aware, and she did actually have a doctor's note.
Right. I didn't say the NBA wasn't aware of it. I never said that. Okay. I never said they weren't aware of that.
Yeah.
I just said that you cannot play under a cannabis in the testing system. Everybody knows that in sports. You can't play. So the
NBA WNBA knew about it.
In the off season, yes, she's somewhere else. Absolutely, somewhere else. I'm very sure if that's the truth, because like I said, we don't know if she's lying or not. They don't care. She's not playing for the WNBA at the time. It just better clear her system before the season starts. We know that.
Yes, indeed. And Kiki says, I get that it was their country, but the people here were acting weird as I don't know what that is. I do, but I don't. Over this woman's release, she didn't kill anybody. A few brothers were saying she should have rotted in prison over there. That's excessive. Yeah, I've actually seen people say stuff like that. And it's like, what in the world is wrong with y'all? You know what I mean? Nobody should rot in prison, especially for something that. I mean, I know it's not minor over there, but it's like, come on, really.
Is Joe Biden going to release all the marijuana convictions and stuff that people are rotting in jail for right now?
Nah, don't hold your breath. And Gavetta says, Demetra, he was not even gay. I know, that's what I said. He was married, right? So his brother was. Oh, and he was wearing a shirt for him. However, people need to respect other countries. Yeah, rules. It's like, yeah. So the people that won't let you in the game, just take the shirt off, turn it upside down, inside out, whatever you need to do. Go do your job. Your job was not to be over there being an activist. You were supposed to be writing stories about soccer, and here you are pushing up daisies. You know, I mean, it might have been the natural causes, but something tells me it wasn't. You know, unless cyanide is natural somewhere. I don't know. And and Gerard, you say she was charged with smuggling narcotics in significant amount, quote unquote. She was found with less than 1 gram of cannabis oil. So it's like, yeah.
Again. You're in another country. 1 gram in that country to them might be significant. Stop thinking as an American, please. That's the problem. What's insignificant to you, to us as Americans, is significant to these other countries.
Well, he wasn't saying that. He was just saying what exactly the amount that it was.
Oh, yeah. But again, it goes back to my thing. So we don't know what their definition of significant is. We still don't.
Right. And let's see here. And obvious truth says Christian go against biblical doctrine when they vote Democrat. Yeah, but don't try to have that conversation. Gavetta says, welcome to the Demetra K Show. Please click the thumbs up button, hit the share button, and subscribe. Yes, thank you so much. I love and appreciate you for that. And Mata Haya, I hope I said that right. It says Black Firster. How are you doing? And Gerard says it was a political detention. Russia wanted to use her as leverage against the U.S. Totally. And
I have a question about that, Gerald. Black woman, gay Black woman. How much leverage do you think a gay Black woman has? I'm just saying, in my travels. Okay, I went to SEER school, right? That's where they teach you how to evade as a pilot and stuff, if you get shot down and stuff. I was taught as a Black pilot, my value is 0 in negotiating. There's value there. But because the way Black people are portrayed by the United States, we have 0 negotiating value. So you're telling me a gay Black woman, 6'7", whatever, is a negotiating tool. It might be because she got the arms dealer out.
Donovan, here's a question for you. Brother Arson says, for Donovan, about the comparison of Brittney to local Blacks, legally speaking, does Biden even have the power to do anything about them, or are we just complaining?
Yes, Biden has the authority of the pen, executive order. He could release anybody from prison that he wants, just much authority that he has in student loans. He has the unilateral authority to commute sentences. And then there's another thing he could do besides commute sentence. There's another part of it where he can just release people. He has that power on the federal level. But unfortunately, too many people are under the Biden crime bill law, are under state law, and they're in state prisons for marijuana crimes. And so Biden really can't do anything, but a lot of governors can. So unfortunately.
Yes, indeed. And Jay, how are you doing? It says, dear sister, why is everyone upset? Just a question. They feel like it was an unfair trade, and that Paul Whelan, the Marine who served this country, it should have been him, but then they don't understand that his charges are a little bit more serious, that he was charged with espionage. And then also the other thing is that they exchanged her for an arms dealer who, was supposed to be, they called him somebody of the death or something. So he was doing some pretty serious things. They don't feel like it was a fair trade. And, Brittney she's not patriotic in that she did not want to kneel or stand for the national anthem and all of that. So that's why people are mad. But, people gonna always find something to be mad over, right? Brother Al, how are you doing? He says, when I was in the Navy, every time when we would go to a foreign country, they would let the whole command know the rules are different and act accordingly. Yes. So it's like, I've been to a few countries, right? And I try to learn what there is to learn for the most part. I almost got gaffled up in the DR, whatever. I'm never going to go back there. So, but
we're not following directions.
It wasn't necessarily that I was not following directions. What had happened was they didn't even know if I had my passport or not. They just came and put their filthy hands on me and my child. And they never even found out if I had a passport or not at that point, because a lady ran across the street like, oh no, they're American. But normally I carry
and I was
my
watching
passport.
From a distance.
Huh?
I was watching from a distance.
Right. Donovan was in the corner like, no. So normally I carry my passport, but we went to the beach that day and I did not want to lose it for whatever reason. So, and I had everything else. I didn't really think it was a big deal, but I will never do that again. I will say that. But yeah, it's good to know the rules when you go to other countries, right? And Andre says, Rethuglikins. Wow. It says hijack the so-called Christian right. I think they both did, if you ask me. And because you got Ralph Warnock, who is a pastor, but who's also says he's a pro-choice pastor. And obvious truth, it says Russian knew BG would be traded for VB by the Biden administration, because that's what they were asking for, right? And LS says BG has a high woke value. Okay, and Jay Bubba, how you doing? It says back in the day, old folks called them. Oh, see, wow.
Yeah, you know the last question on LS, but see, here's the problem, LS. Do you realize in a lot of these countries that are very patriarch, woke isn't a factor in those countries. That's why they're very traditional. So her woke value to me, in my opinion, had nothing to do with it. And I've been to these countries, traditional. They're not like they are here in the West. Yeah, so.
And African Mermaid, how are you doing? He says Putin needs about to win the war in Ukraine. About who, and I think it's Bolt or something like that, but I've been calling him about. Says who worked for Russia. Biden had no choice. Brittney for about or no deal. Yeah, and that's what I've been reading. It wasn't like they would say, we want him, and him for her. It wasn't like that. They was like, this is who you get. We'll give her back to y'all if we get Victor. So that's what I also
it's
heard.
Either this or nothing at all.
And then Andre, you said, wasn't Whelan court-martial? See, I don't know. Was he?
Yes. When Whelan was in the Marine Corps, he's actually of Canadian. He was born in Canada and came to serve in the United States military, which a lot of people do from other countries. They come to serve in the United States military. He was discharged under that aspect. But let me ask you guys this. Now, I've been in the military all my life and stuff and whatever. Isn't it strange when like when I was in Afghanistan and you had those hikers that were hiking in the mountains on the Pakistan side of it and they got captured? Those are spies. We just happen to be in the middle of the war, just camping, minding our own business. So yeah, a guy like Whelan, I'm very sure, using my military background, I'm going to tell you guys, he's set up to look like a troublemaker, and he's kicked out. Wasn't what's his name? Lee Harvey Oswald, wasn't he a Marine? And he was discharged under circumstances, whatever, went and lived in Russia and stuff like that. And then they set him up to kill Kennedy and all, whatever you want to believe on that. But that's the basic playbook of spying. That's just the basic playbook. So he went over there. I believe he went over there as espionage like they said he did. He got caught and he's kind of stuck right now.
Yes, indeed. So I see a lot of people saying the same thing about Victor, and that he says that guy was swapped. Does dirty work. He is worth more to the government and the gun companies out of lockup, out than locked up. I'm sorry. It says where there is conflict, they can use people like him to do their bidding.
Oh yeah, big money. Just like we went to war in 2001. No contract bids. You know how much money the defense industry gave to contractors? War is big business. So yeah, it makes sense to get this guy out there so he can negotiate these trades.
Yes, indeed. And Kiki says, really, if Black people truly knew the lyrics behind the national anthem, none of would stand. On top of that, not everyone is into standing before a piece of cloth and speaking words. For some people, that's a form of idolatry. Yeah, I mean, in the same old country, don't you have the right not to do that? So it's like, to say that she deserves to be locked up for 9 years because she didn't stand, I think that's just ludicrous. And also for the white folks to stand and just say you don't like Black people, and it don't matter who it was, as long as they're Black and a white guy didn't come in her place, that you were never going to be happy with that. So, and Michael, he says, question for Donovan. I agree with you that it's better to leave the Democratic Party. Have you looked at other parties besides the Republican Party, such as the Green Party, Party for Socialism, Libertarian, or etc.?
Absolutely. Last election, I voted the Green Party ticket straight down. So yeah, I mean, I've left the Democratic Party because it's not a party that's good for me. I can't speak for everybody else, but I'm getting off the plantation. So I'm awake.
Brother Samuel, how are you doing? He says, Demetra and Donovan, I stated out the gate, I guess Brittney never seen the series Locked Up Abroad. Yeah, I've seen it. It's like, You know what? I even said that about being here in Texas. I said, I am not committing no crimes in Texas. If I commit one, it's going to be back home in California. I am not going to prison in Texas for nobody, because it's like being in a third world country from what I understand. So, and African Mermaid says his name is Victor. I know it's Victor Bout, but I've heard different people say different words. So is it boat, like boat, or bout? And Obvious Truth says he was gathering intelligence. Thumb drive they confiscated had names of Russian border guards. Wow. You know what I mean? It's like, okay. Andre says war is big business, so is freedom. You better preach. And Dr. Chris, you say, regardless, this is a two-party country. Yep, all day long. And LS says, white snatching YouTube snatching comments. Yes, on this, if I was on my phone or on actual YouTube, I can have more control. But on the thing, I'm on a system called StreamYard, so I don't see like the block comments or that kind of stuff. I only see what comes up. So I just want y'all to know, and I have a moderator, so I don't see the other stuff, if that makes any sense. And Obvious Truth says, I'm registered independent. I am nonpartisan as well. They gonna have to guess who I'm trying to vote for. And Kiki says, I love that series, Locked Up Abroad. You know, I like the Locked Up over here better as far as TV watching is concerned, but I wouldn't want to be locked up abroad or in broad or with abroad or, you know, nobody.
You know, and the funny thing is, if you really look at whenever Americans are locked up abroad like that, we are given preferential treatment compared to the people that are actually living in that exact country. Remember Demetra, the guy, the American kid in Singapore that got caned. They were going to cane him 20 times because he was out there acting American, and they gave him a break. I think they caned him 6 times.
Yeah, they didn't want him to have that. Oh, he's just a kid, but it's like, y'all ain't saying about their kids. They be getting their booties caned all day long for doing stuff. It's like, but guess what? He ain't gonna do it again. Whatever he did, he was graffitiing or something. He ain't gonna do that again, right? So I don't know. Yeah, they gotta learn your lesson sometimes. No, I have not seen it yet, but I am interested in watching it. I'm sure it's pretty interesting. And Gerard says, I think Paul Whelan was actually a spy. The U.S. government will never admit it. Yeah, I mean, if he was kind of caught with some stuff, I don't know, right? And African Mermaid says, watch the movie Lord of War based on Victor Bout, born in Ukraine. Yeah, that's what I heard.
Yeah, Lord of War. Yeah, that's the movie, Lord of War.
Mm-hmm. That's what I heard. I'm trying to think. I don't think I've ever seen it. That's with Nicolas Cage, from what I understand. Yes, and you say also it's about war, money, weapons. Got you. And Sooty Man, he says, you won't hear anything about him after this. He'll disappear into the sunset. He's obligated to do what the government tells them to do for his freedom. When they don't need you, they use your crimes against you. Okay. Kiki says the problem is people vote for a party and not for the best interest. You can be a Democrat or a Republican and not vote that way if it doesn't serve you, but people are too committed to their party.
Good right. And that's what Christian Cinema was saying. She said, just because I'm a Democrat and I think a different policy, why is it that I'm being ostracized because, you're holding up Biden's agenda? Maybe she didn't want to roll with that. But see how they try to ostracize you because you're thinking of independent thought. And if more people would be like that, I really think this country would move in a better direction, because that way, just like the Democratic Party does with Black people, why should we give you anything when you're going to vote for us anyway? We're terrible, but the Republicans are even worse. So we got you.
Yes, indeed. I have to check it out. I'll have some downtime until the first of the year. So there's so much stuff I'm supposed to be doing. Y'all supposed to be watching all these movies, all these documentaries,
reading all those books,
reading all these books. I've actually had to say, because I have gotten out of reading, I have to buy myself what I call, my daughter's like, just sit on the couch. I'm like, no, it don't work like that. I need to buy myself a reading chair so I can sit it in my room. And I know that chair is for nothing else but to read. And that way I'm not distracted by everything. So I'm going to buy myself a reading chair so I can really dig more into all these books that I have. So yes, I might try to add that to the list. I don't know if I'll do it though. And Andre, he says, so BG was jailed for AAWB, acting American while Black. I think she was more so jailed because it was just the perfect storm. Political, the war, everything was going on. I think she was just unfortunately caught up. Now she had the cartridges on her. Yeah, that was kind of stupid, but I think it was really more so that than anything. And let's see here. In LS, she says, you trade an arms dealer for a spy, not a SHMC. But can I say this to y'all in love? Regardless of what Brittney decides to do in her bedroom up under her clothes, I don't think that she should have been in jail. Now, Donovan made a good point in regards to bringing up the kid. It was years ago, I don't know, maybe 15, 20 years ago at this point, where he was running around with some other kid and graffiti and stuff. And the other kid I think he got they were trying to give him like 30 lashes or something. And the American was going to get like a little bit less than that. But nobody wanted him to get the caning or whatever the case is. And I forgot where I was going with it because I'm getting old. So I remember where I was going with that. But regardless of the cases, I know where I was going with that. That's what happened when you get old. Where I was going with it was regardless of he was graffiti and all that, white folks were up in arms. They were up in arms. They did not want him to get caned. Oh, this is inhumane. How could y'all do this? There wasn't two, and there was some people saying, well, that's what he get. But for the most part, his people was like, no, don't do that to him. But Brittney belongs to us, whether we like it or not. She is a Black woman, or what? I don't know what she a woman to me. I don't know what she identifies as, but she's a Black woman. And what she does in the confines of her bedroom with whoever she does it with, I really don't care, and I don't want to see it either. So I don't know. Sun kissed by the Most High. I like that. How you doing? It says some goofy, foolish ones wanted her to die there. Yeah, I don't get that. I really don't. And Todd and Tasha podcast says, hey, Donovan, what do you think about our new Black mayor in Los Angeles, Karen Bass? I'm not excited. I'll say you.
Yeah, I answered that in a comment.
Mm-hmm. Yes, and she was sworn in today too.
And of course they never identify her in the press as a Black mayor. They didn't identify her as the first female mayor of Los Angeles, because remember, Karen Bass was married to a Hispanic man, which is nothing wrong with that, but she caters to the Hispanic community in LA, even though 50% of all homeless in LA are Black.
Well, she wouldn't have been the first Black mayor of Los Angeles anyway, so that's probably why they're not.
No, first Black female.
Obvious Truth says, think about it. Russia refused to swap for Whelan because he would resume spying. U.S. Should refuse to swap Bout because he resumes dealing arms. Yeah, I guess what can you do, right? And I mean, he was going to do it in 7 years if that's what he was going to do, because that's when he was due to get out. You know what I mean? So it's like, if he going to do it, he going to do it. Michael says, question for Donovan. After reading the Green Party platform, I understand that you support cash reparations for your people. Any issues with it?
Exactly. If Black people would read the Green Party's platform, they have more policies that they would like to enact in regards to the workers, Black people, all kinds of stuff. And we even interviewed the lady that was running for vice president on the ticket of the Green Party. And I mean, I was very impressed with their platform. And to me, it seems more Black friendly than the Democratic platform.
Yes, and Kiki says, is that why brothers are being so critical of her because she's a lesbian? I think so.
I will never understand that. People are free to love who you love. I mean, if Demetra loves a certain person, how the hell does that affect me? I'm not interested in Demetra. Who cares?
Right. And Maine, okay, so you says, and how you doing, by the way? It says Brittney is worth more than the Marine is. Got you. Yes, indeed. And welcome to the chat. And Andre says, doesn't the Socialism Party also advocate for reparations for U.S. African, what's FM citizens, if you don't mind me asking? And Roots Tracker, how you doing, by the way? It says, Karen Bass prioritizes DACA. Oh, yes, all day long, unapologetic about it. And Nima, you say, yet she made an agreement to play in Russia, knowing her lifestyle is against their laws, and that they torture even their own. Yeah, because y'all notice too, I don't know if they tortured her, but she came back without her dreadlocks. So I don't know.
Yeah, they don't play. And you guys got to remember this. She's been going over there for 7 years playing. Okay. Now think about it. You get away with it once. You think, hey, I got this thing. I get away with it twice. No big deal. They were probably, just waiting for her to slip up at the most opportune time, thinking, okay, they're letting her get through with it. And that does happen in military operations, by the way, too. We'll let certain people get through so that they're confident about it. Just like Locked Up Abroad. What are they doing Locked Up Abroad? Oh, look, we'll just take your luggage. We'll just, put the cocaine inside. We've done it 3 or 4 times. Don't worry. I got a person that's going to meet you at the gate. And sure enough, when the plan gets ready to initiate, the person that's supposed to be at the gate ain't there. And next thing you know, you're caught high and dry with the goods.
Yes, indeed. And Obvious Truth says bout would be on supervised release. Plus, feds know how to reincarcerate inmates. Got you. And Gilvetta, you says, Demetra, I think a conversation on mental illness issues in the Black community would be good on this platform. New case, Kalila says Brister drove into lake with 4-year-old daughter. I saw some about it. Haven't gotten into it yet. There's definitely a lot of mental illness in our community that is unaddressed. I mean, it's mental illness everywhere, but specifically regarding our community, it is unaddressed, and you never know what people are going through. That's why, me personally, if I feel like somebody is going through something, having a hard time, and also I think it pays for us to be aware of the people around us, our friends, our family. You see something's off, check in with them. Hey, everything all right? Is there anything I could do? How can I help? I mean, I know I try to do that, but then there's some cases where people are just like, there's nothing you can do because it's organic, right? Because I think it's a firm decision to drive yourself and your child into a lake to your demise. I think that's obviously something greater than I'm imagining a friend saying, here, let me help you, or a family member saying, let me help you. So it's very sad, but I'd be interested in seeing and learning a little bit more about that. But we definitely do need to take mental illness in our community serious. We just don't, right? We would say stuff like, take some Robitussin, you'll be all right, pray on it, or just, you tripping, or you in your feelings, right? How many times do we tell people they in their feelings? It's like, well, it might be, but let's have a conversation with them, see what's going on, right? What's on your mind? Instead of saying, just get over it, you tripping. We need to stop being dismissive of people who are going through things. Because I know personally, I've gone through some things, and I'm sure glad that I had good people in my life to listen to me. Not that I was ever going to do anything weird, but it's just nice to have people to talk to when you're not feeling so good emotionally and mentally. So, yes, and only Pamela's Way. If I didn't already, how are you doing? Says Donovan, what do you think of Christian cinema moving over to the independent party? So, yeah, he addressed that, but he says he thought it was a good thing to be, in the middle, for lack of better words. And okay, Andre says AFAM is African American apologies. Oh, got you. To the nomenclature. No problem. And Sudie Bain says they were probably watching for her for a minute. Yeah, I would think so too. Like, aha. And Ruth Tracker says she could have gotten lice. It runs rampant in prisons. Yep, that could have been it too. And Kimberly, how you doing? Says Brittney is an American. That's it. That's all. If she wasn't gay, the next critique is that she is a black woman. Bogani says weed is a part of black people's lives. Yes, it's a part of a lot of people's lives. And to your point, you cannot be addicted to marijuana. Now, the other argument is that maybe they are putting something in it, but on the basics of marijuana, it is not addicting. So
it can't be addictive. I have a friend that's been smoking it for 15 years. He's not addicted.
They just don't. They like it, but as far as I can't function without it. That they like it, but as far as it being now, it might have some stuff in it now. It ain't the stuff your mama and them was smoking it. Your mama and them was smoking it. So I don't know. And let's see here. Gerard says I heard her locked hair was freezing, and she got sick, so she had or decided to cut them. Oh, okay, wow. I have to watch the interviews. I haven't had a chance to do that. Andre says Green Party is Democrat light. I totally agree with you. As Libertarian is Republican light, in my humble opinion. That is a good point. Ruth Tracker. So, okay, you're replying to Gerard. And LS says LGBTQ. Michael says, Donovan, what you mean is, did you disagree with the Green Party when it comes to immigration, et cetera? So you answered that in the chat. And then Ruth Tracker says, have y'all talked about KDL losing it, beating up black activists? Now, who is that? And I haven't heard of that, but if you don't mind expounding. And hello, Freddie B, how are you doing? And Donovan says Van Jones apologized for black people to the Jewish community. We didn't ask him to. We don't need Van to do that for us. And African Mermaid says, thank you, Miss Demetra. You're welcome. And Obvious Truth says she was just a basketball player, no comparison to a spy. I totally agree with you. And then let's see here. Yes, please, if y'all can hit the like button, I love and appreciate you. Bruce Tracker says, laugh out loud at Donovan. Van Jones is not grassroots, nor can speak for us, in my opinion. No, not at all, right? He's like, shame on you. And Studio, how are you doing? It says, did y'all hear about Bill Clinton killing Ron Brown, his black Secretary of Commerce? I didn't hear about him doing it per se, but I heard about what happened. And Queen Lioness of Israel, how are you doing? Says the release of $2,000 book called Russian Icons is one of the reasons why Brittney was released. Oh, really? Do tell. And Kiki says, yes, Lord, make it comfortable for people to know that everything doesn't have to be okay and they have someone to talk to. This society pushes perfection too much, having people think their lives have to be perfect, and that's pressure that many can't handle. We need to check on each other. Yes, we just need to be in tune, and that's kind of the problem with this phone here. And social media, we're not in tune anymore. We're only in tune. Think about this as a concept. Most of us has had a more in-depth conversation with somebody we've never met online than we have with somebody who lives with us, than somebody we see in real life, than our mama or our daddy or our sister, our brother, a real friend. Most of us have had conversations with other people and haven't had that type of conversation with people we don't know or whatever. And so I always say it's kind of funny, but the internet is not real. Now I know it's real because we are here and speaking to one another, but I say it's not real because there's so many people on this thing perpetrating, putting their best foot forward. There's a lot of people living quiet lives of desperation behind the keyboard, but in front of the keyboard, they're like, oh, I have this great life. I'm this, I'm that, I'm this, I'm that. I'm just, that guy. I'm so perfect. I'm a perfect woman. And it's like, but when they log off, they cry. They have the same issues. It's worse, right? So a lot of times we hear about somebody that's done something to themselves, and we're like, oh my God, I thought they had it all together. They just seemed like everything was good. But the key word is seem. It's a facade. This is a facade. A lot of people don't show you who they really are because they don't really like who they are, and they don't like the life they live. And they know that if they got on this thing and says, listen, my light's about to be cut off, I'm hiding my car everywhere, my man just left me, my woman ain't no good. They know that it probably won't get as much praise as it would if, oh, I'm traveling over here and I'm doing this and I'm living well, right? People kind of tune that kind of stuff out. So we need to check on the people near and dear to us and that's close and say, hey, are you okay? So that's my spiel on that. All right, so let's see here. And Sooty Man, you say Jones is $100 million puppet, whatever they say he's going to jump. Yeah, Jeff Bezos awarded him and some other guy $100 million to whatever charity they wanted to go to. But you notice how he didn't take to task Amazon for having the movie on there, right? So,
and notice he took the money and didn't give it to any charities.
I don't know about all of that. Bruce Tracker, he says Kevin DeLeon, who needs to resign in LA, says Demetra. Yeah, he
what? Wait, Kevin DeLeon is throwing hands left and right. The brother was in there doing it. Pop, pop, pop. He can let nobody just step to him like that.
Well, he's one of the ones that was sitting on the city council too, talking all that mess.
Yeah,
you know?
He's fighting for his life. He refuses to step down.
Yep. And Obvious Truth says Ron Brown was scheduled for a deposition if he got back. Yes. So I am familiar with that. So, I mean, it's possible. Anything's possible. I ain't going to rule it out, right? Michael says the Party of Socialism and Liberation does support cash reparations for ADOS. Okay. And Andre says done with crying Van in 2016 IRO, right? He was crying even, I think, more recently than that.
Yeah. But when Biden took office, he just broke down.
Yes, indeed. And where'd I go? Queen Award, you say facts. And African Mermaid says Russia is currently in DRC in the Congo, helping Africans fight the influence of the French. But Africa has something everyone wants, including the Russians who are providing training weapons to the DRC rebels. You are absolutely right about that. And something to think about always. How are you doing? It says truth. And Todd and Tasha, you say, speaking facts, Demetra, go ahead, sister. All right. And Freddie B says, yes, the internet isn't real. It's fake. And Studio says, Russia is the future, y'all. It's a legitimate Christian nation. Okay. Bruce Tracker says, what American shoe brands are around since Nike are done with Adidas? Since we are done with Adidas and et cetera. I will put that up. Just a few, I have to find it. But somebody put a list together of black shoe brands. I'm going to put it up.
What about Stephon Marbury's brand, Star brand? It's like $15 to get a pair of those nice shoes.
Are they still up and running?
I'm not sure. I think they are, but not in like mass quantity.
Yeah, I remember I bought my daughter quite a few when he had them back in the day, right? Sure did. Had a store in Ontario Mills, as a matter of fact. And Arniva, how are you doing? And Emmett, what's going on with you? Says, yes, please check on us. Yeah, we need to. We need to say, hey, how you doing? You all right? Now, don't give me that canned answer. I'm good. Nah, you really good, right? Like you could talk to me. Because that's how I am with people. Like, nah, because I'm one of those people too, especially if we're friends and I could tell something's off, I'm probably gonna get on your nerves. Now, what's really going on? You know, what you could tell me. Well, we do need to check on each other. And Ms. Gilberto, thank you so much for the donation. Love and appreciate you. Says Demetra K and Donovan Sadiq. Thanks for keeping the community informed and interacting with the chat family. It is our pleasure as always. Anytime we are live, we are going to be interacting because I just feel like that's the way it should be, right? Y'all don't want to hear me and Donovan talk. Y'all can do that on Tuesdays when we don't have a live audience. But thank you again. And Ruth Tracker says a judge approved 20,000 signatures to get Kevin DeLeon, removed. However, most support him. That's very telling.
Well, you got to remember most of his constituents are Hispanic. And one thing, as we found from those recordings, Hispanics have their own hierarchy of racism within the Latin community, right? So it's going to take the people to do something about it. It's just the same thing as like me being a recovering Democrat. You guys need recovery if you keep voting for your own oppression. Nobody's holding our Black elected servants accountable for what they're doing or not doing. By keep sending these people back there for 30 years and you're expecting a different result, the problem is not them. The problem is you.
Indeed. So I'm looking for that. I'm trying to upload the shoe meme, if you will, with all the black shoe companies on there. But GA Fit Health, you say Ascend Apparel is a good brand. I have a pair. I've never heard of them before, but I would like to check them out. And Bakari, how are you doing? He says, what about all the black folks locked up behind marijuana and now it's legal. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's why I said so many levels to it, right? Because, Brittney was over there in Russia locked up for that. But it's like Biden, you got a whole lot of people over here locked up for that too. They should be free.
And then he had the nerve to make a speech, basically saying that it was not a big deal and they kind of took it overboard and, people should not be locked up for marijuana offenses. And then the vice president a couple months ago, how many of you guys remember her little khaki laughter talking about how people should not be locked up for marijuana convictions and stuff like that. But yet, as the Attorney General of California, she locked up more people for that offense than any Attorney General combined.
Yes, indeed. Yes, Pamela, I did get your heads up the other day. And I love you too, Bakari. And LS, you say maybe you can't have these conversations with the people around you. I totally agree. Some people you cannot, and that would make us have to question, should we be around those people? If I'm around people I can't talk to, or people who are going to judge me, or people who won't even, do you ever have people who call you and they don't even say hello? You say hello? Like, yeah, let me tell you. It's like, no. When people do that to me, I'm like, hello, how you doing? Oh, I'm doing good. Okay. What was you saying? You know what I mean? So if we're around people who don't care about our well-being, then we shouldn't be around those people, right? Because they might be the reason, a part of the reason why we're not feeling so well. I don't know. And let's see here. And Kiki says, I'm sorry, but who's Kevin DeLeon? So he is a council man in LA, and he was one of the infamous people that got caught on that hot mic talking bad about Black people, and he's still there, and another one as well. But one of them did resign. The lady, I forget her name, but she resigned. William, how are you? You says greetings, Demetra and Donovan. Let's be honest. Bout is a mass murderer who aided in genocides in African nations. Bout is eligible for deletion. Griner was not a fair trade. I mean, some people will say she is and she's not. But to us as Black people, I think she was a fair trade. There's people who are overseas, for a lot less than Brittney or doing way worse than Brittney. And white folks, they be like, nah, don't touch them. We want them back. We don't care, right? Like they really go hard in the paint for their people. So I think we just need to get in the habit of doing the same thing. Yeah, we don't agree with, I don't agree with everything everybody does. It's like people don't agree with everything that I do, but I think we can agree that doing 9 years in a Russian prison for a little vial of whatever it was, I think that's a little bit much, right? So,
but again, that's American standards, not Russian standards.
Yes, indeed. In our studio, he says, facts, Donovan. And Andre says, thank you, guys. A book reading time in honor of Demetra later. All right, well, what you read? I want to know. And Gavetta says, thanks for joining. Let's hit the thumbs up button, share, and subscribe to Demetra K channel. Yes, please. And Bakari says, his name is Jim Crow Joe Biden all day long. And Roots Tracker, you say, Brother Donovan, please restate the Black Shoe Company again. So Donovan, did you come up? I was waiting for this. Okay, let me see.
I just said, I remember Stephen Marbury had a shoe that was like really reasonably priced when he was playing in the NBA and stuff. And, it didn't really, it caught on to some people, but it didn't really catch on like it's supposed to. I'm not sure if that line is still running. So
I see him active on Twitter. So it might be because he's completely, he completely agrees with Kyrie, and talks about getting our own shoe company and stuff like that. So I do see him around on Twitter. So I'll put this up here. All right, so hopefully y'all can see that. That's what I saw on Twitter, some Black Shoe Company. So let's see if that one was up here. No, I don't see a send. No, I don't see that up here. But, we can always add those to the chat. But these are Black-owned shoe companies. All right, so let's see. Moving right along. Who else came on here? Let's see. Yes, Only Pound Way says, Ascend Apparel, is this Black-owned? I never heard of it before, but I guess we have to look, see. And Bakari says, all skin folk ain't kin folk. You better believe it. What's the 411? How you doing? Long time no see. He says, did y'all speak on the boxer Roy Jones being behind the scenes since June/July this year, working on getting Brittney released. Nope, I never even heard that he was, probably because it was behind the scenes, right? But I'd be interested in learning more.
But you bring up a good point there. The WNBA did what they could in regards to supporting Brittney Griner, but after the season was over, it's like they went silent. I'm not like blaming women, but these celebrities, women and men, why weren't they supporting this woman? I mean, is it the fact that, and I guess from what I heard from the State Department, they really wanted people to be quiet about it as they're doing the negotiations and stuff like that, rather than being vocal and getting this sister out of prison. And my question is, we complain about the government. At the same time, we bow down to the government. Either we're going to do for self, or we're not. So we got to make up our minds, because when I see these celebrities fall silent when their fellow celebrity gets in trouble, and they depend on us, the grassroots, to speak up. Hey, you guys got the resources and the money. Why aren't you guys out there in the forefront putting pressure on this administration to do what they need to do?
Well, from what I understand, they weren't very public about it. Per Brittney's family, is because they didn't want to, I guess, upset the Russian government. So they didn't want to hold big old deal just yet at the time. That's why they were kind of keeping it under wraps, from what I read. And let's see here. And the studio says not true about Boot. Okay, there you go. Boot. That's how you say it. He was a 2-bit arms dealer that was kidnapped illegally in Thailand. They lying to you. So I heard that story as well. So it's kind of all over the place, right? So I did read that as well. And obvious truth, it says Boot is responsible for an estimated 1 million Africans alone. Well, they said that he supplied the arms, but he's not the one that actually used them. If that makes any sense. Not saying that he's any much better, but he's not the ones that used them. And let's see here. Yes, so you say death to millions of Africans. And Facts Not Feelings, how you doing? It says peace and love. Fun fact, the average Chinese in China is richer than the average European in Europe. That was not the case just 60 years ago. Chinese will be the new English language. Learn it. Okay. Now I'm big.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I'm too old to learn it. I don't think I'll be able to.
Yeah, if you guys have been to Shanghai, there's an area called the Bund, and they made a skyline there that wasn't there 40 years ago. It's a beautiful sky. I got a picture of it in my house right now. And if you really think about here in the United States, what have we built in the last 60 years? If you had to tell somebody right now to come to America to come see something, what would you tell them?
Okay. Depth knows how you doing. I'm read your comment, but just with my eyes. I mean, the lesbian and the Marine, they weren't over there for the same thing. And Letitia, how are you doing? And LL, what's going on with you? And let's see. Imprez, how you doing? He says, Demetra and Donovan, first time here. I just heard about a brother who is working with Kyrie called Saya Collective. Oh, see, he on your list. Oh, okay, so it's on here too. Yep, I see it. Okay, so that's cool, because we know that Nike has said that they are not going to repair the relationship between them and Kyrie. So that's good. It needs to be a Black-owned shoe company to help him, and they get that money, right? Studio says, how could they forget the biggest Black shoe company, Big Baller brand, the Ball Brothers? Is it still in business? I don't know. Because I wanted me a pair of shoes. I was like, ooh, $350. I've never spent that kind of money on a pair of shoes, but I would. I would.
Yeah,
so
but
if they're still up and running.
Yeah, but even his son, what's his name, the oldest Ball, he said that a lot of his injuries that he's sustaining right now is because of those shoes. The shoes were falling apart, and it really kind of messed his career up. His own brand of shoes.
Yeah, but the other thing too is, I mean, just go back to the lab. Go back to the lab and we'll support it. I'm a LeVar Ball fan all day long. I love what he has done for his boys, and I love his I don't give a damn attitude. I love that he gives them the blues when it comes to being a father to his Black sons. I love it. So, and then I feel Facts Not Feelings says the Bout story in the U.S. Was false. Yeah, I did read that as well. And Todd and Tasha says, wow, to think that people thought the Trump administration was so bad. Just look at the Biden administration. Exactly. That's what
nightmare.
Yeah, people talking about the lesser of two evils. You know, it's like, well, if you really want me to decide, then that's probably going to be the Biden administration. You know, and Michael says Demetra and Donovan says, I'm not saying that you should become Democrats or Republicans. However, being a moderate is dangerous as being corporate Democrats and hardcore Republicans. Middle is bad.
Well, I don't agree. I don't agree middle is bad, because if I'm in the middle, both parties have to work to get my vote, period.
Yeah, I don't think either party should be able to assume how you're going to vote. So that's why I'm nonpartisan. And William, he says we need to keep an eye on Victor Boot because he will be back in business soon. He is already making the talk circuit. Yeah, I agree, but there's other people we should be watching as well, like the people that's over here, you know, like the Biden administration.
Or
keep an eye off of them.
Or just like Deion Sanders said, the stadium sold out at 60,000. He goes to check the ticket receipts. Only 28,000 seat receipts have been taken. Somebody's stealing the money. Who's going to address that? We need to watch the people over here.
Yes, indeed, Kiki. I hear you. Says, but in my opinion, WNBA never received the same coverage about anything as NBA players. Could be a gender thing, despite strives. I still believe that there are just certain sports America will always believe should be male dominated. So,
okay, well, I'm going to say this, okay, Kiki, and I'm not going to I'm going to disagree with you respectfully. The product is bad. Just because you play the same sport does not mean you get the same pay. The NBA did not make millions and trillions of dollars overnight. The NBA is like 60, 70 years old or whatever it is. The WNBA is what, 25, maybe 25, 30 years old. They've never turned a profit. Now, Kiki, you're an intelligent woman, and everybody on here is very intelligent. It's about plus and minus. If you opened a business for over 25 years and it never turned a profit, how long will that business be in business? The problem is with the WNBA is they have bad marketing. And I think the WNBA suffers from what the HBCU suffer from. They have people in positions that want things to stay the same so they can steal the money, and they're getting paid while the players don't get paid. Unfortunately, in business, this is how it is. LeBron makes a certain amount of money because they generate a certain amount of money. You have women news people that don't even interview WNBA players. What's that chick, Malik Andrews? Her whole show was based on the NBA. They want to be seen with the NBA. They don't even support their own women's organization. So when it comes to business, the product is bad. I'm sorry. I mean, if you Demetra knows when I was a big WNBA supporter. I had season tickets to the LA. Me and Dame, the product is bad and it's getting worse and worse. And eventually people, because it's a bad product, you know, and that's what I think that the bottom line is. It's not a gender thing. People love sports no matter how it is, but let's face it, the WNBA, the product is bad.
And Todd, he says, as a man, that in WNBA, just not exciting to watch like the NBA. I don't like watching women dunk. And I think that's fair to say. I mean, it's not as exciting for whatever reason. But the other thing, too, I will say this about the WNBA. If it's obviously it's a woman's dominated sport, where the women at? You know, women it should be filling those seats, right? If that's the case, like go support women. That's what I would think. I've been to a couple of games. I mean, they're okay. You know, I don't know. Ruth Tracker says the museum I heard is Office Space. Oh Lord, have mercy. Y'all talking about the museum that Brother Tariq Nasheed purchased. You say the museum I heard is Office Space being rented out, but what do I know? I'm just gonna keep reading. And CG says sound about right. And yes, yeah. So Donovan, you were going in and out, but I think you came back. We can hear you now. Let's see. LS says WNBA was good when it started. Too many BGs, and not enough Lisa Leslie's. And
I think what he's alleging there is what a lot of guys are alleging. There's not enough feminine women in the WNBA. It's like you're watching a G League of a bunch of guys if you're looking at it from a distance, they're all tattooed up. And they can do what they want to do, but if I'm a family man, I don't want to take my children to a thing that looks not family friendly.
Well, this is why I'm gonna play devil's advocate a little bit, if y'all don't mind. I like to play devil's advocate. I'll put this thing back up here when y'all somebody asked me, I'm gonna remove it. Are y'all going to the games because of what they look like, what's up under their clothes, or are y'all going because they playing basketball, like they dribbling the ball and then they throw it in the hoop? Ain't that why y'all going to the game? Or y'all, going to see who with who and who looking like a man? I'm just asking, because when I go to see a sporting event, I go because they playing ball. I don't go because I'm all up under their cheeks.
Right, but you're going knowing that, let's say you go to football, you're going to seeing a male-dominated sport. When you go into the WNBA, like I said, I was a season ticket holder. Sometimes, if you're looking at, I'm supposed to be at a female game, and I'm looking at people that don't look female. That's how I take it. That's where I come from thing. I don't see females. It doesn't. There's nothing feminine about the game.
But do they need to be feminine if they're playing basketball?
If you want to get people in the seats and that's the product that you're putting out there, yes. Yes. It's kind of like going to a gentleman's club, expecting to see women, and there's a bunch of trans dudes in there.
It's still not computing for me, because my thing is, if I'm going to see, like, if I go see a football game, bunch of dudes running up, and I'm not like, and does he have on a G-string, or is he wearing boxers? Oh, he kind of made that pass. It was a little too thin. Like, I'm not going for none of that. I'm going to actually see them oppose the other team if they going to win or lose or whatever the case is. I'm not going to see. That's what I think has gone kind of cuckoo bananas in our society. We engage in this stuff, and we looking at the wrong stuff. So what?
No. I know. I think you're looking when a product is marketed as a women's basketball league. I want to see women playing basketball, not women that look like men. I don't want to see that.
You seeing women playing basketball?
I see women that look like men. And one thing about men is we are very simple-minded. Like, again, I use the analogy like going to a gentleman's club. I don't go to a gentleman's club with the notion of thinking I'm going to see a man or a transgendered man dancing in front of me. I expect to see feminine-looking women.
To do what? Why do they need to be feminine? They need to be having on heels and booty shorts running up and down the court?
Well, okay. I'm going to talk to it from a business aspect. If I had a product like the WNBA, I had a team like the WNBA, and I want to get butts in the seats, I need attractive women to bring people into that arena, because guys are going to come. They're going to come because of the beautiful women, period. It's a business decision.
Okay, so let me push back. Do you have the same ideology about a high school or college basketball game and women?
No, because those are children.
So you thinking it, but you're not saying it.
No.
But you're not saying
the pro level has to deal with major money being exchanged. High school stuff like that, those are children. Sorry.
But I'm saying a lot of those girls, they don't look feminine.
They're not. They're also not at the pro league.
That's what I'm asking is, are you able to go to that game and only see them play basketball?
I don't go to high school. I don't go to high school games.
Okay, but would you be able to, though?
Sure, if I wanted to go, yeah.
Okay. Arneva, I'm just gonna keep on pushing, okay? Emma, you say what? And Ella said Cynthia Cooper and Cheryl Swoops were great and feminine. Well, one of them, it has gone on to the other side now, but I don't know. And Empress says, oh my. And Tawana says, I agree with Donovan. I don't see women. But I'm not saying that I see women, but when you go to these games, are you going to see women, or are you going to see them play basketball?
Can I give you a better example? There was a young girl, young lady who played in the WNBA. She played for the Sparks, and they cut her. Her name was Cooper. Her last name was Cooper. How many of you guys remember her? What was her claim to fame? She didn't have an outside shot. She played decent as a guard. But what was her claim to fame that made me watch the Sparks again? She was attractive and she had a nice butt.
There we are. There it is. There it is, ladies and gentlemen.
Right. That's well, like I said, that's what made me watch her play. Not only could she play, I'm not taking that away from her. She was attractive and she had and she used her butt because she had, like, I guess she was the most followed WNBA player. She had over 2 million people on her Instagram. And a lot of those guys, people that followed her, was because of the way she presented herself or marketed herself.
Marty says, I couldn't agree with Donovan more. When you go to the WNBA, you do expect to see the ladies play. Brittney, I'm tired of hearing her. I'm glad that she's out, but I don't have a dog in the fire. I don't have a dog in the fire, child. Okay. And Wilbur, how are you doing? He says, come on, y'all ladies don't think the guys are fine. We do. We do think they're fine, but that ain't the reason why I'm going. And then I don't ever have no seat close enough to even be up on their booties like that. I normally would have like a nosebleed or something, but point that I'm making is, as me, if I were to go to any type of game, I'm not going to get my rocks off. I'm going to actually see them play ball. And so my thing is this: while I was playing devil's advocate, just don't lie to kick it. Let's keep it real, fellas. When y'all going to those WNBA games, y'all want to see some TNA.
Of course. No, of course. See, that's the problem, Demetra. You're coming from a woman's aspect, a feminist woman's aspect. And wait. And we're coming from a men's aspect.
Wait. I dropped the N word. My apologies. Sometimes I do that, okay? But I get tired of Donovan trying to call me a feminist. Donovan knows good and hell goddamn well that I've never been a feminist and I'm not a feminist. So please do not try to use your manosphere talking points to try to label me.
See, look, she called me a manosphere. That's the first thing they do.
And another thing too is, for y'all information, I also happen to be a business professor. So I know what the hell I'm talking about. But what I'm saying is, I'm not talking about from a business point of view. I'm talking about it also from a point of being honest. Don't tell me that when you go to the games that you don't see women. You know that they're women. Be honest and say, I don't see attractive women and they need to be attractive. Somebody said, I want to see some ass. I don't see them in that way in order for it to be a draw for me to go to the game. That's why I asked you about the college and high school. Are you able to go watch college and high school girls just play ball and not focus on their TNA? You said yes. So what would be the difference when you doing it with the WNBA?
Again, those are young ladies. I'm not interested in that.
So again, you want to go see TNA?
Yes, if a product is marketing itself as a women's professional league, I want to see feminine-looking women playing basketball. I don't want to see male-tainted women or alternative lifestyle women playing basketball. I don't want to pay my money to see that.
So yes, and Naima, I hope I said it right. It says, we are not men, Demetra. Men think differently. I totally agree. That's why I'm saying don't lie to kick it. Don't try to make it seem, well, you don't got this. Just say you want to see some TNA. Don't dance around and just say that. Don't try to say, oh, well, because they're not this and that. Just say, I want to see some TNA. No,
it isn't about the TNA. I'm in love with Lisa Leslie. There was a feminine woman that could play basketball, and she was good to look at. Had nothing to do with her TNA because Lisa Leslie really doesn't have it. She played good basketball, and she was a very good-looking woman, period.
So Robin said, I agree with Donovan on this. Most of those women look masculine. I'd rather watch the NBA. See, that I'm not saying they don't look masculine. They look very masculine. I think it's safe to say that most of them probably are LGBTQ, but I think y'all are missing the point. Don't try to make it seem like it's something else that is technical. Just say, as a man, because I know men and women are different. Say, as a man, I want to go, when I go to the game, I want to see something other than balls jumping up and down. Just keep it real. That's all I'm saying. Don't try to make it seem like, oh, it's just that. I want to see some titties. I want to see some
ass. because they don't promote titties and ass. There just happens to be women that are feminine looking and good looking. You're confusing the two.
Nah, we're not confusing the two.
What
this is who's on first, who's on second, who's on third, because on one hand, you saying it's not that, but then when I say just admit that it's TNA, then you go back to something else. So
it's not TNA though. It's not. It's about seeing feminine looking women playing basketball, period.
But there are some feminine women playing basketball.
Yes, there are some.
Let me ask you this. What describes feminine?
A person that looks like you, where they identify, and I look at them and they're soft looking, they look feminine.
So if I am, because when I'm gonna tell y'all see my workout pictures. I'm in the gym. I'm not worried about looking feminine for no dude.
But you naturally look feminine.
Wait a minute. You said naturally like me. I don't look like this in the gym. This will probably tomorrow be in a ponytail, under a hat. I got on my baggy shirt, my leggings. So whether I look feminine or not, that's subjective. But again, just admit that you're not turned on by that. And that because whether they're feminine or not, most women that are playing basketball games, they don't got all they boobs and stuff and they booty out. They hustling, they getting it up and down the court. So to say they don't look feminine enough, I played basketball in high school. My sister played, and I don't ever remember going in there, looking feminine. So that's why I asked you to describe what that meant.
Okay, again, those are the guys that understand about that girl Cooper that I talk about. There's another girl, let's say, even though we know she's gay now, what's her name? She played for the Sparks, Candace Parker. She looks feminine, even though she's gay. We know she's gay. She looks feminine. We're talking about just women that look naturally like women. That's going to attract men to the game. It'll put butts in the seats. Nobody wants to bring their family to, lingerie football is popular. I don't know where he's going from.
To who?
What do you mean? It depends on what market it is. What was it? What was the LA team that was here? Agam Chichindu. She was on Basketball Wives. She started from that. The LA, I can't remember. But the point is, in the market, lingerie football league was very popular. Matter of fact, it expanded all the way to Australia. That's how popular it was. So I'm not sure who said that comment, but I've had a friend that played in Tia Cooper. Finest, exactly. Mo, thank you. But the lingerie football, if you never followed that, I followed that from its inception for 10 years. That's a popular league.
Yes, indeed. And Azaria, I hope I said that right. How you doing? It says Cheryl Swoops went to the other side, but
and now she's back. Right.
While she was playing, she looked feminine and she
really play. Right, exactly. You don't have to be from a business standpoint. If you want men to come, like I said, you can't build a gentleman's club and put a bunch of transvestite guys in there. They're not going to come.
That ain't no gentleman's club, boo. That's a basketball court. Using
that analogy, you can't hire a bunch of trans guys and expect men to come in there and spend their money. That's not going to happen.
So we're going back to my point that they need to be sexier for you to enjoy.
No. I use the analogy. I'm using the analogy of a gentleman's club. In the basketball, WNBA, you're not going to fill the seats when the women look like dudes. You're not going to do it. And that's been their problem. They have a marketing problem. When the WNBA first started, there was really less masculine females. And it was very popular the first 3 or 4 years. That's why you had Cynthia Cooper and all these greats. And, there you are. It says, Donovan, have you taken a good look at Jade Cargill? She is muscular and feminine and with a black man, and she is winning in her sport. Here's the thing about Jade Cargill. But for those that don't know who Jade Cargill is, she's a wrestler, very prominent wrestler. She's 5'9". Here's the problem with Jade Cargill. She's very limited in her skills. She has not grown in her skills in wrestling. And Demetra will tell you, I'm a longtime wrestling fan. So she's very good, but she topped out last year. She hasn't improved since last year. So she's a one-trick pony.
Slap Who 77. I hope I said that right. Says Donovan is absolutely correct. Keep your femininity. It does not take away from your competitiveness. But I don't see why a woman needs to be feminine, and that's subjective. Really, that's from that. Femininity is any. Get them, boo. My daughter that heard this whole conversation. She said I took the words out of her mouth. Yeah. What she said, how you as a man gonna tell a woman how to be feminine?
Especially since women can't be told.
Okay, stop right there. Stop right there. Then here's the deal. Then the WNBA needs to close its doors, and then it needs to stop going to the NBA to be subsidized. It's as period as that. It's just not going to exist. Period.
So be sexualized or don't exist.
We didn't say sexualized. We didn't say sexualized.
Out in these streets, tricking yourself out with your titties and ass out.
Nobody said that. Nobody said that. I gave an example of a basketball player that people followed because she was attractive and she could play. Period. Lisa Leslie, she's attractive and she could play. Candace Parker, she's attractive and she could play. We can go on and on and on. There's plenty of them that can do that. The problem in the WNBA is they are losing and never made a profit every year because of their marketing, period.
How is it about the players being attractive when it's women, but when it's men, you guys care about the sport? Why don't you care about, the ball's going in a hoop regardless of who's shooting it. Y'all ain't looking at men's junk when they're shooting.
It's not the same thing. You're comparing apples and oranges. You're comparing apples and oranges. The WNBA game is not the same as the NBA game. It's not the same product, period.
Is it the same game? Is it the same?
It's not the same game. It is not the same game, period. And anybody that watches basketball,
y'all can't talk over
anybody that watches basketball and you compare the two leagues, it is not the same product. As a matter of fact, Ice Cube's 3-on-3 league has NBA has. And anybody that knows what I'm talking about in the comments will agree with me. Okay, go look at the product. It's not the same product. That's why they don't get the same pay. It's not.
How is the game different? What makes it different?
They are being paid different, but see, the women keep saying, "I need to be making as much as LeBron." No, you don't. No, you don't.
Am I talking to myself?
Yes.
I'm not asking about the pay. How is the game different? How are the rules different?
Have you seen both products?
Yes, I've seen both.
Okay, if you've seen both products, would you pay $300 to go see a WNBA game? Would you pay $300?
To see Magic Johnson, Michael Jordan.
Wait, that ain't the question I asked you. Would you pay $300 to see a WNBA game?
I wouldn't pay for either one. $300. No.
Okay, here's my point. If I gave you $300, you had to choose between what league you're going to play. Which one are you going to play?
I'm probably going to go to a WNBA game because I've seen lots of regular NBA games and didn't care for them. Okay, well, you're on some different science. If the WNBA product was that good, it wouldn't be subsidized by the NBA. They've never turned a profit. So wait a minute. If you want to turn a profit, you need to market the game over there differently. And what they're doing is not working. The WNBA should have closed years ago. Should have closed down.
And he never will. She said you never answered the question. I said he never will. But let me get to these comments. And Jay Wilkes, how you doing? Says the reality is the WNBA is selling a product that is not appealing to men. Women should support it. The question is, why aren't women supporting it? And that's what I said too. The women should be supporting the game since it's a women's game. And that's just where it is, right? So I totally agree with you on that. All right, so let's see here. Yes, studio. Candace has now gone on to the other side. Facts Not Feeling says women, yes, women should look like women. But there's a lot of women that look like women, and somebody will say she look like a man. So it's like I said, is there a litmus test? Is there a cookie cutter? This is what a woman should look like? I don't know. Y'all tell me. And let's see here. Let me move on a little bit. And who else came on here? The FM4, how are you doing? He says, I simply don't watch it because it's boring. Yeah, and I think a lot of people will say that it's just boring. It is, right? Dorothy says, have you seen the Britain fella? I'm old-fashioned. I don't like the strange apparel. I don't even know who that is. All right, so let's see who else came on here so I could catch up. And Mo Wu Bay, how are you doing? And good-looking hunky, that's your name. I didn't call you that. That's your name. How you doing? Studio says the Australian women's basketball team is very popular because they wear tight-fitting uniforms. Okay. Mo Monty says, Demetra, you can't deny it. Donovan is on point. When you came to see erotic dancer, when you come to see erotic dancer, you expect to see a woman that's made up like a woman with lifted, cute outfit, hair done up. But that's a whole different venue. When I go to a basketball game, a women's basketball game, I'm not going to see what's under their clothes. I'm going to go see them play. So that's a different scenario. And obvious truth says Donovan is right. Most moms not trying to expose their children to LGBTQ advocacy. I mean, I agree with that. I would not be wanting to expose them to that as well. All right, so let's see. Donovan Daniel, how are you doing? Says, greetings, everyone. I'm catching the show late, but where we watch Russia just got their big joker back. More motivation to prepare for the inevitable of World War III on the horizon. Invest in firearms and ammo. Good advice. Mo Bay, you say what he is saying is ridiculous. Women in sports typically don't look soft and mainstream feminine. I totally agree with you. That's why I'm saying let's define what feminine looking like a woman is, especially if you drip and sweat, you run up and down the court. I mean, I just think that's y'all gonna hate me for this, but I don't care. I just think that's a ridiculous male fantasy gone wild to that women that are playing an aggressive sport to some degree should be feminine for you to come. It's
go look at Tia Cooper. Just to go take a look at her picture.
But somebody might look at her and say she's not feminine. So it's really in the eye of the beholder. So I hear what y'all saying, but I don't think y'all delving in reality here. I really don't, you know. And Arneva says, true, that dude look like a lady. Aerosmith, you crazy. Facts. Now Phyllis says, wow, how did I not know about lingerie football? Where can I see that? See, keep it real, right? And Nima, and I know I said your name 152 different ways. I apologize. I think it's Naima. Says, I don't see why they have to be masculine either to play basketball. Well, I think they that way because they are LGBTQ. I don't think anybody's denying that. So kind of like if you LGBTQ, most of them are, some of them, I don't know, I'm probably speaking over my head, but that's what they do, right? They look like that. So it's like, I don't know. I don't think that they're on the court to be sexy. I don't think even if a straight woman is playing basketball, I don't think she's on the court to be sexy. Like I said, I'm very athletic. I do a lot of things. I cycle. I'm cycling now, and as far as a bike. And I'm not thinking about, is my booty tooted up just so in case somebody's walking by. I mean, I'm thinking about getting these LBs off me. I ain't thinking about being sexy for nobody. But then that's just me, right? LS says he didn't say how to be feminine, right? Well, because I want to know how does a woman on the basketball court, how should she be feminine?
How would I know?
Can you give me some? Do we got some whiskey?
All I know as a man what I like to see. I can't tell you how to be feminine because I'm a man.
It's funny how he changed.
You mean to tell what's the strongest thing we got up in there? You mean to tell me you took me through all of that to say I don't know?
Because you're asking me something that's not in my being. I am not a woman. I am a man.
Negro, just say it.
No. I can't tell you how a woman. I can only tell you what I like to see.
I wish when my eyes was closed, you could see how far back my eyes rolled. I'm surprised they didn't get stuck. She brought me a shot too. Jen, you say, young lady asked a great question and answer. Who earns more, women's volleyball or women's basketball? Me personally, without knowing the numbers, said women's volleyball. And I don't know either.
Yeah, women's volleyball does. Yeah.
Eric Fortune, how are you doing if I didn't already? Brother Todd, how are you doing? Says, Demetra, get back up. Hush now. Donovan, he said, I got back up. That's right. Yeah, but my daughter, Donovan already know. My daughter ain't for play. I'm just playing.
No, but your daughter is a what did she say? A construct, social construct.
Donovan, I know where you live. Don't play me.
Okay, so D-Way, how are you doing? You say FloJo was fine as a supermodel. Yeah,
exactly.
Okay, but let's steal in logic. Don't you say you got a podcast coming on talking about critical thinking? Well, brother, let's do some critical thinking.
Yep. Let's do some critical thinking.
How long was FloJo running down the track?
Probably 15, 20 years.
No, I'm talking about at a time.
Once.
No, like what was her fastest record?
I think she what was it? 17 something seconds or something like that. Or no, I'm sorry, 8 seconds.
8 seconds. 8 seconds. So yes, she could have the flowing locks, the nails, and she was cute. Now imagine how long is a basketball game?
Basketball game's about 2 hours.
You think she was gonna be looking like that for 2 hours?
No, but that's a different sport.
Let me have it.
You're comparing apples and oranges.
Mo Ube says attraction has nothing to do with basketball. Attraction matters for models.
From a business standpoint, the WNBA has never made money. Why? Because they are marketing it wrong. Women don't support it. Men don't support it. But men would support it if it was marketed correctly.
Yes.
I might just be rambling, but this is kind of like in the same vein of like women go and get BBLs and stuff because men sit here and talk about what they like and what they want to see, and then women get BBLs. Oh, he didn't say we liked all that, and y'all look like this, and the nails and the eyelashes. It's like, but you guys are sitting here talking about stuff. Someone brought up Flojo, who literally had the longest nails ever.
Here's the deal. There are women in the WNBA that look feminine. And there have always been women in the WNBA that look feminine. The problem is there's not enough of them anymore. And that's the problem. They are not turning a profit. Because they're not turning a profit, they do not deserve to be in a business model. If your company's losing money and your employees want a raise, do you give them a raise? Of course not. Because there's no money to give them a raise. So it's ridiculous. They're delusional. You need to change the business model to put butts in the seats. Nobody supports the WNBA more than the NBA. You got NBA players, Kobe Bryant was supporting it, and so on, so on, so forth. The problem is the marketing.
Yes, it gets hot up in here sometimes, y'all. All right, so I'm going to read on down. LS says the WNBA solely exists as a tax write-off for the NBA. Okay. And Malo Factor, how are you doing? It says, why didn't Trump get Paul Whelan out of Russia? Good question.
Trump doesn't give a damn about the military. That's why.
A GA Fit Health, it says some sisterhood. So you talk about the women not supporting the WNBA. I mean, I agree. I mean, if women are having an issue with them getting the pay and the games and stuff, more women should go if that indeed is the issue. Now, I will say that a lot of people are uncomfortable with the LGBTQ-ism. Because I remember it was years ago at a Dodgers game. There were some women there and they were, kissing and all that, and people got upset. Now, this was before it really became like no big deal, right? People got upset, and the two women, they got kicked out of the game because they was hugging up and kissing and stuff. And then there was a lot of backlash. And then the Dodgers, they had a LGBTQ day type of thing. And so I guess that's kind of become a thing. But so I get that. And our brother Reggie says, okay, sauna time, y'all be smooth and don't be in there too long. And Kiki says, but that's in every industry. Men in every industry get paid more than women, though. That is true. I would agree with that. All right, so let me skip down and see who else came on here. King, I say Buck Wild. How you doing? He says, y'all women get a fix on NBA players' muscles, legs, and sweating. Stop it, ladies. I mean, I ain't gonna lie to King. And see, I could be honest. I could say, yes, he is fine. I like that. But I'm also able to watch a basketball game and watch it for what it's worth. Like, I'm not going to be busting a sweat and salivating over the dude just simply running across the court. I'm watching the game. So that's what I'm saying. But you're stupid. But if I was only watching it for that, I would say that. So that's all I'm saying. Don't lie to kick it. Just say that's what it is. You want to see more TNA. I mean, let's keep it real, right? Gerard says WNBA doesn't have the play, so it's hard to depend on players to be popular. And Arneba says if the women pull in as much money as the men, they would be paid as much as the men. And that's true. That's just a mathematical fact. Jay Cage, how you doing? He says more women in the world than men. Why aren't women supporting the WNBA? That is a very good question. And Gavetta says, Demetra and Donovan got your daughter hot. Lord help us. Yeah, this ain't nothing. When we're all together, we're out of the country. Oh, man, they go at it. And I was like, all right. Huh? She said she's straight. She's straight. She was just asking a question. Robin says, I'm sorry, but Donovan is right on the topic, and I love Los Angeles Sparks. I'll never buy a ticket to go see them play. I only watch on TV. Okay, and Emma says, rating in the WNBA has grown. So I honestly have not watched a WNBA game probably since I went with Donovan years ago. I'll be keeping it real with you. But then I don't have the ability to anyway. Good looking. I'm going to just say it that way. You crazy. I'm reading the comments. How you doing, by the way? Emma says, women's college basketball is more exciting than WNBA. And Terrence, how you doing? Says the WNBA is a different product from the NBA. They can't play nowhere near as the men. There was a player, and forget her name was, I think it was Linda. Don't get me the lying, but she died not too long ago, and they said her numbers were just as impressive as Magic Johnson. I can't, and they actually, she was the first woman. She's black, first woman to be drafted into the NBA, but she didn't go because she was like, it's kind of like a press thing, and they're doing it for ratings, so she didn't do it. But they said her numbers were just as impressive, so I just want to put that out there. Obvious truth says beauty lies in the eye of the beholder, but the skill level is weak. So if the skill level is weak, that's a conversation we can have. But as far as they not fine enough, it's like, I'm not. I have to push back.
This aspect. Yeah. From a business aspect, we know that their skills are weak. So I'm an owner of the LA Sparks. I want to get butts in the seat. Sex always sells, and men come where the women are. So that's the perspective that I'm coming from. They need to change their model.
She said, y'all don't respect women in no circumstances. Kiki says, now I could be wrong, Donovan, but it sounds like you're saying it boils down to looks. For instance, you said that the Cooper woman's game wasn't the best, but she had a nice butt. He didn't say that, and was attractive. So that means that if the women are attractive, then men will overlook their lack of skill.
Yes, for entertainment purposes, men will come in. Like I said, she's not a great shooter. That's a fact. I love basketball, and I support the WNBA, especially the LA Sparks, right? Her stats and shooting and stuff is not good. But as a point guard, she's very good. She gets her stats in other positions, but she's also feminine looking to look at. She has over 2 million followers, and she is nowhere near the best player in the WNBA, but she's the most followed. Why?
Yes. So yeah, you said FloJo brought femininity, grace, and excellence to track and field. That she did. But again, if her fastest race was 8 seconds, but I guarantee you she probably wasn't doing all that when she was practicing. I think and I was around when FloJo was around. That's really telling my age. And a lot of you guys were too. But yeah, that race was, Donovan said her best race was 8 seconds. So that's a little bit different than 2 hours, I would think. Naima, you say they don't have to be sexy to be feminine. But again, what does it mean to be feminine? Now I get the whole, they looking like a man, the tattoos, and I don't know, whatever else would deem them to be a man, manly looking, but I would tend to think that basketball is already a manly sport. So I guess that's kind of where I'm not connecting the dots. DSB, how are you doing? Says, I am weak for a volleyball player, those little shorts, see? But they ain't doing it to be sexy. It's because it's easier to play in those, I would imagine. But then again, what do I know? And Miss Imprez, you says, I get both arguments, but I'm just gonna slip my tea and be quiet over here. So I think you mean a slip. Yeah, I was about to sip something else just a minute ago. When Donovan came all the way back to full circle, I was like, oh my God. And then Emma says, what you like to see, bruh? Yes, y'all, I'm telling you, a drink, a strong drink after going through all that. Hello, Anita, how you doing? K Hall, what's going on with you? Says WNBA is not entertaining, period. Yeah, and I think that's a fair argument. A lot of people say it's just not entertaining. William say feminine possession of social role behaviors that are presumed to be characteristics of a girl or a woman. But that's what I'm saying in regards to playing basketball. How do you play basketball like a woman? I don't know. Good to see you as well, Dwayne. And Sunlight, how you doing? He says, that's stupid. Obvious truth says that current lesbian runner that dresses exotically is a marketing mess. So y'all talking about Sha'Carri Richardson. She looks feminine.
Does she?
Wait.
Does she?
Hold up. Wait a minute. Stop the press. When I said she looks feminine, you went.
She got everything he was writing about.
Does she? She doesn't look feminine to me.
The long hair.
She doesn't look feminine to me. That looks trans. She looks trans to me. She looks trans.
But do y'all see where I'm saying how being feminine is in the eye of the beholder? Now, to her point, she looks like Flojo. She looks like Flojo.
No, she looks like Rajo Rondo. That's who she looks like.
You see what I'm saying? See, did we see? Donovan took us through all of that just to say he doesn't have a clue.
You're comparing apples and oranges.
How?
You're comparing two different sports. You're comparing two different sports.
Brought up track and field. That's how we got the
right. But you can't compare track and field with basketball.
I will not let you do this.
That's an individual sport.
I will not let you do this. We are talking track and field. We're talking Flojo and Sha'Carri. They were both track runners. They both had. In fact, she said that she has paid homage to that Flojo with the nails, the tights, the hair, all of that. So you just went. So that means it's in the eye of the beholder.
No, that doesn't mean that. You're talking with two track. Wait, listen. You see, that's the thing. You're not listening. You're talking track and field, two track and field stars. Okay, Flojo took it to a level, and there it stayed. Now Sha'Carri has come and taken it to a different level, and there it goes. Same genre, same thing, moving to the same place, going in the same direction. Okay. They haven't lost any money in track and field that I understand, especially on the international level. Sha'Carri's making money. They're making it as an individual sport. Flojo brought it to a certain level. Now Sha'Carri has taken it homage to Flojo and brought it to another level. That's track and field. We're talking about basketball.
You about to make me take this to the head, and I don't even really drink like that.
That would be like you saying Lisa Leslie, Cynthia Cooper, and all the people that started the WNBA started at this level, right? When it was popular. Then you've got the new group that has come in, and they're supposed to take it to a higher level. It hasn't done that. It's gone backwards.
Hold on. Okay, go ahead.
But at the end of the day, you said it wasn't about skill. It was about looks. They look and perform femininity exactly.
Correct. When the WNBA started, God don't like that. They had found and thus they've ever lost.
Okay, you had cut out, but you said God don't like ugly. Wait, hold up. Serena Williams has entered the chat. Serena Williams, I don't even know what that means. I'm just doing. Serena Williams has entered the chat. Feminine or masculine?
Yes.
Yes to what?
Feminine.
And somebody will say they don't think she looks feminine. So that's why I said, how do you define that? I think she's feminine. But
that's okay.
How do you define that?
Yeah. Right. And that's okay. But that's an individual sport.
Did you hear the sigh that came from over there? She went. How you doing, LP, by the way, if I didn't already mention it? And Cosmo, how you doing, baby? He says, let's get it in yes indeed. He says, D is the real deal. Damn, Tori, how you doing? Okay, I'm for real. All right, I'm gonna just skip down to the people who I haven't seen it. Then I'll catch back up since we're so behind. Hello, Miss Tatum, how are you doing? All right, let's see. Matt Furry, he says, people bothered by the Brittney trade because she was traded for a man called the dealer of death, responsible for killing and maiming 10,000s of people. Was that a fair trade? Yeah, I think it was a fair trade because what does that have to do with Brittney? You know what I mean? Brittney didn't make him do it. She was over there for something less. So it's like, do we want her back or not? Right. So I think it was a fair trade. He was gonna get out shortly anyway. So Wasn't like he was detained forever. Okay, and so Dorothy says they simply need to be a little softer looking. They don't need to make themselves look rugged. But again, what does that mean? You know what I'm saying? Like softer looking. If I'm running up and down the court, I'm not focusing on. Like I tell you, y'all, I'll go live tomorrow. Y'all gonna see, or if I'm going to gym tomorrow, I work out. Y'all gonna be like, damn, she looking rough, because that's what I'm in there to do. I'm in there to look better, not to be entertaining people, right? So I don't know. Arneba says to be feminine is to be in harmony with your nature. I like that, but then some people will say, well, you know, what does that mean? Emma says, I seen them IG posts, Demetra. You know what I'm saying? But see, in order to look like that, I got to go on the gym and look like a dude. You know what I mean? I got to be up in there huffing and puffing and sweating and looking crazy. So I don't know. And now Get Better says, thanks for joining the Demetra K Show. Please hit the thumbs up button, share, and subscribe to this channel. Yes, and please, and thank you. DSB says she way too muscular. So you're talking about Serena? The LP says they want the feminine athletes to equal men, but no one is telling feminine models to make less than a male when females make way more. It depends on the trade. So exactly. Yes, I think it's fair to say that women models, like on the runway, they make more. So I definitely agree with you that it depends on what it is, right? And in sports, it tends to be geared toward men. So yeah, I think if the women want the WNBA players to be honored, then the women should go to the games. So I agree. Unless she says, Serena Williams, stop it, Demetra, you losing this one. I didn't bring up Serena, somebody else did. You saw, I think it was you. Didn't you bring up Serena Williams? So I'm asking, is she feminine or is she masculine? I didn't bring her up. You did, if I'm not mistaken. And then Tori says, Flo, no. Okay. And then GA Fit Health says Sha'Carri is feminine looking. I think she is too. And then Emma says, nah, she looks feminine, quote unquote. And Tawana, you crazy, says low end Flo Joe. But she did say that's what, you know, why she was doing that, for I understand. And no freedoms. How you doing? It says two different sports. Yeah, you can compare them, but I wasn't comparing two different sports. I was comparing track and field and track and field.
I just want to say that none of y'all was talking about skill towards the end of till the end of that conversation. Y'all was talking about looks. So now to keep saying, oh, they're two different sports, y'all was never talking about skill. Y'all was talking about what femininity looks like. And an athlete is an athlete.
Again, we're talking about a business model. That's what we're talking about. It was a business model.
That's the only word this man learned.
She said that's the only word you know is business model.
But that's what feminists do when they can't win the argument. I mean, you guys deflected all over the other place. Everybody seems to understand what I was saying. No. That's what I was saying.
We deflect all over the place. Look, do you see this comment? She felt like deflecting cut his mic.
No, it makes no sense when women think because you play the exact same sport, you should get the same amount of money. That is a ridiculous comment. Just because I work at McDonald's and I make $10 an hour, and then somebody at Jack in the Box makes $8 an hour, because we do the same job, we should get the same pay. That's ridiculous.
I don't think it was.
No.
She says you're the king of deflecting.
Because the conversation was never about pay either. It was about you talking about looking at something attractive while they play basketball.
In regards to the business model, if you build it, it will come.
Here.
$1.
Okay, so Jan, you giving us the highlights of football. Okay, we being silly nowadays. I'm gonna get off here really in a minute, because after I have this, listen, I'm a lightweight and it's gonna get real crazy. Emma says I haven't watched a bunch of WNBA, but the players look better and the play is better. Okay, and damn, Tori says lies. And Matai, you say black men always loved her. So you talking about Serena? Yeah, I totally agree. I think Serena is really sexy. I mean, a lot of men would want to be with Serena. So I'm not saying she looks masculine. And Miss Shantae, I hope I said that right. How you doing? Says, I'm coming in late. I'm just going to say she's a black woman, my sister. I'm so happy she's home and safe. We go through enough, and finally someone cared. I'm 100% with you on that one. Miss Robin, you says, now I can watch Serena play tennis all day. She's feminine looking to me, but most say she looks masculine. There you go. So that's why I said it's in the eye of the beholder. And Terrence says Serena is feminine. And CG says white guys don't think so. Well, yeah, you know, look, they women with ironing boards for booties, right? Mona says it's like Serena Williams knows that she has a hard masculine look. She has a nice physique, but she's better with makeup, and so many need to have it, especially lipstick. Neutral look on the lips, bad. So you're talking about me? You want to see the red lipstick? I think I heard you loud and clear. My daughter over here having a conniption. Mark, how you doing? Says if you lived in the Ukraine, you would feel differently about the trade. I would agree, but you know, we know how Ukrainians feel about us. So that is our concern. Why? And Naima says, we may not like how many think, yet is how most men think like that. And they don't want to pay to see what looks like masculine guy, women to them. So yeah, I mean, I can't tell men what to like, but I'm just saying, I mean, let's keep it real. Just say that, right? That's what the argument was. Just say that. Don't try to make it seem like it's something else. Just say you want to see some TNA. I mean, I ain't a prude. It is what it is, you know. Mile Factory says, you want to see beautiful girls, you need to go to a beauty pageant. You want to see girls being competitive, go to a basketball game. Terrence, she says, I think people saying that Brittney wasn't a fair trade for the Russians because she is black. You better believe it. All right, so let's see. Who else got something to say? LP says, Demetra K, you are the bomb. Oh, thank you. Says, even though we disagree, I can appreciate your opinion. And that's what it's all about. I love and appreciate you as well. LS says, Serena Williams was feminine when she crip walked at Wimbledon. She was. I thought that was gangster, baby. You know, she's from California, Compton to be exact. Kimberly says, listen to that baby Demetra K. Yeah, that's my daughter. She know her stuff. DSB says, laugh out loud. Y'all leave Donovan alone. I got your back, brother. You better bring an army. You better bring an army.
No, you know, I just think the problem is, like, especially when it comes to men, women always seem to want us to think like women, and that's just not the case. We think totally different. We're two different species. That's all I'm going to say on that.
I ain't told you to think like women. Hell, I don't even know how women think half the damn time.
I didn't say that. I didn't say anything to that. I said a lot of women want. I didn't say you. I didn't say you. I never said you. I said a lot of women. I didn't say you.
Got you. Good. Hold on, y'all. Hold on.
Donovan, deep breaths. It's gonna be all right.
Try Mika. How you doing? It says, what's so wrong with being a masculine woman or a feminine man? Just be yourself.
Correct. But in the business model of the WNBA, they need a new marketing strategy. That's the problem why they can't get butts in the seats. They're just not going to make it.
And Brother Michael says, Demetra, I understand your daughter very well because young millennial women are not tolerating sexist attitudes and beliefs from men.
I agree with that. I agree with that.
Yes, Demetra Jr. That is little D, mini me. Something like says, cut his mic. Y'all wait. I need to get me. Y'all know the Spirit of Truth. Y'all remember the Spirit of Truth? He's the pastor that was on a cable network, and he was cussing, and he was reading. Had the phone book, acting like it was the Bible. And then when some woman called in, she was acting crazy. He said, "Cut that B off." I need that meme in my life. Okay, for real. Moni, you say Donovan is 100% correct. He is 100% man, and he's my.
Got a hater in the house. A hater.
Help! I can't breathe.
Continue reading, please.
Did y'all hear that loud gag in the background? Okay, hold on. I gotta get right.
Ma'am, is Donovan holding you hostage? Say these things.
She said, Moni, is Donovan holding you hostage? Let me read it. I need to give us his just desserts. Says, Donovan is correct. He is 100% man, and he's my brown, my brown sugar boo. I hope you guys have a wonderful evening. Give me trouble with do hope you'll start back wearing your lipstick regularly. It's your signature. One day I will. Okay. Miss Shante said, men is the problem, so I'm glad I don't think like them. Ooh. Only Pamela's Way says, wait, Sister Demetra K, are you taking shots? Donovan drove me to it. This is the first in history for YouTube purposes. This is apple juice, okay? It's very strong apple juice. Oh, man. And let's see here. And Marty says, I mean, what now it's sounding a bit asinine when a man goes to a basketball game, unless he's a complete homosexual, he don't care about how the man looks because people are paying to see an actual man. Okay. All right. So let's see here. No Freedom says we need to bring back some sexism to women. But again, being sexy isn't y'all ain't tell me I had this mess run down my face. Sexism, sexy, a woman being sexy is in the eye of the beholder. Like, does everybody think Beyonce is sexy and fine? And she's like it's beautiful, right? Now, if somebody will say, I don't really, she don't do it for me, right? Now, some people say, well, you're crazy because she's fine. And I think Beyonce is beautiful, but not everybody agrees, A DSB, someone, you rolling, I was rolling. Y'all should have heard her. When I started to read it, she went, Donovan and my daughter, they do this mess all the time. Okay, so Impress says, this is funny and you enjoying that drink, sis. Yeah, I might have to reload once I get off here. My nerves is bad. Going around and round with Donovan, I'm like, he do know this is recording, right? Like we could go back and watch this. I don't know. I just be wondering.
Yes, and you always take it left field. A lot of people in the chat understood what I was saying.
All two people.
They did. She said all two people. No, it was quite a few. Ooh, Lord. So yeah, so a lot of people saying they don't think Beyonce is fine or beautiful, but there's a lot of people who do. And Michael, you say, and the 5-star review. How you doing, by the way? Michael says, Demetra and Donovan, black men create jobs for the sisters, and black women create jobs for the brothers. We should anyway, right? And Sunlight says she ain't no Janet Jackson. So yeah, some people say Janet Jackson is, looks way better than Beyonce. So it's just really all an opinion, right? Gavetta said, as always, great conversation and great points. Yes, indeed. And thanks to y'all, thanks for putting up with our silliness. Sometimes we do go off the rails, which is why we have to do Tuesday by ourselves, because sometimes, and we're going to talk about Derek Jackson on Tuesday. So this I don't know how I think Donovan and I might agree on Derek Jackson. I don't know, but we don't see and some other stuff that comes up, but just stay tuned for that. And Wilbur says, not in my eyes. Yeah, some people said that she don't do it for me. And Dwayne says she don't holler like Jill Scott. You're not Jill Scott. Now, that's a fine woman right there. Donovan says, okay, yeah. I haven't heard. Well, there was one dude on Twitter that saying she was not fine or something, and they ate his lunch. Marty says, common sense, anybody know that it's a difference. The man is going to be paid more because it started off as a male sport. It's only been in the last 30 years that it's been WNBA should be more feminine. So yeah, it is a male dominated and originated that way, right? Facts Not Feeling says Whitney was fine and beautiful. I totally agree. And Gilvetta says Beyonce is okay. And DSB says Demetra got that natural beauty, no makeup needed. Thank you so much. I do have some on my eyes because coming on here, it does kind of wash you out a little bit. But thank you. I appreciate that. I don't typically like to wear a lot of makeup. And New Hope Family Investments, LLC, how are you doing? He says, if it weren't for the NBA, the WNBA would fail. It's a capitalistic society. The free market determines value. The free market is saying the WNBA isn't valuable. And I totally agree with you. I mean, I think it's been said. It's obvious because, I mean, even if you do see it on TV, it's like, wow, did they open the doors yet and let people in to come see the games? Because they just don't have people filling the seats.
Yeah, and a lot of the WNBA, they can't even go to the regular arenas that their counterpart male teams do. They have to go to smaller arenas to make it look like it's full. I mean, that's how bad the marketing is. It's the product is that bad.
And D-Way says, Jill Scott has always turned on black men. That's a sexy big woman. Or turned black men on. I think that's what you meant. It was like, oh, has she turned them? Yeah, Jill Scott, I mean, you know, as they say, I ain't gay or nothing like that. But Jill Scott she is a fine woman. Yes, indeed. If you ever seen her in concert, it's like Jill.
Yes, what she does with that microphone is amazing.
I've seen her in concerts. I'm like, oh, I didn't know you talk like that, Jill. Okay. I know. And Wilbur says, no, Sanaa Latham. Yes, Lord. So, yeah, there you go. Jilly from Philly. Yes, indeed. And Impress says, question, does major labels or advertisers even support women's sports equally? Just curious. I would say probably not, right? Depending on what it is. So if it's a sport, no, because even the women's soccer team that won the gold medal for USA when the men's got knocked out way before they did, they were saying we don't get equal pay. And they're like, well, we should, man. We did what the men couldn't do. And that was go secure a medal. So even the women's soccer team was like, yeah, this is bogus going on here, right? So anyway, Melanie says a woman should look feminine. Demetra, wear makeup, sometimes wear definitely some lipstick and not get an attitude. I think about it. Sometimes it gives you a great feminine edge like the old days. Go ahead.
Y'all tell my mama what she need to do to be feminine. First of all, that lady is the most feminine person I know, with or without makeup. Bring a man to his knees with or without makeup.
Okay. That's my daughter. I think she might have been drinking too. I don't know. But anyway, so let's see here. All right, we're gonna get out here. I'm gonna read these last comments. Yes, 5-star review says facts. I like Jill Scott. She is sexy. Sound like you say true. Only Pamela's Way says, Donovan, what does she do with the microphone? Y'all know what she do with that microphone.
I put it in the comments.
Yes, and Michael said, Demetra, I understand where your daughter is coming from. WNBA player put a lot of hours to practice their jump, shot, and dunk the ball. Therefore, they should be paid equally to NBA players. They should.
No, that's ridiculous. Yeah. That's ridiculous.
It should be, but they're not bringing in the revenue to justify it. So, yes, it said Jill lost a lot of weight too. She always been a gorgeous woman, always heavier or slender. Yes, indeed. So I don't know. This is some apples. It's apple juice, y'all. What did Michael Jackson say? It's Jesus.
No, it's not. That's that Tennessee whiskey.
It's 100 proof, whatever it is. Okay.
Wait. Where's that Crown Royal bag? Where's the Crown Royal bag? It's in there.
Right. Okay. It's a Thunderbird. I have to break out some Thunderbird for Donovan. Yes, Gavetta. He said, have a great week, great evening, and thanks for joining the Demetra K Show. Remember, hit that thumbs up button, share, and subscribe. Yes, please. Thank you. Crazy Orchard, Sunlight. Ruth Tracker says, that sounds like your mini-me. Asks Demetra. Yes, she is indeed. Yes. Marnie says, the only different scenario is exotic dancer knows her role. She's going to wear makeup and lipstick, not get an attitude when you ask why you don't have on your lipstick. Looks feminine. I'm not getting an attitude. I'm just saying I don't wear red lipstick all the time. I got to feel it to wear it, right? So I'm gonna surprise you, Moni. One day I might wear it. I might wear it. Brother Todd says Beyonce is fine, Jill Scott is fine, but both of them damn sure ain't no Demetra K. Oh, well, you know what? You sure know how to make a girl feel good. And William says, I love the look you have now, Demetra. Keep it up. Thank you so much. I appreciate you, all of you. And Jan Michael says, appearance and demeanor, how to make them gel and sell is a question. Haha, I'm tapping out. Enjoy and smile always. And thank you so much for being here. Brother Don says, I get to lay back in the cuts because Demetra can't protect herself. But I still need you, though. I need you. 5-star review says that is asinine. Women cannot handle a basketball like Michael Jordan or LeBron James. Women don't make the rawest moves while traveling in midair.
And let's deal with physics. Men are stronger. I mean, we were just built a certain way. We're different species. We're just two different types of things. That's why men could jump higher, stronger, and so on and so forth. We all have our roles. When I hear women talk about they're equal to men and men say that they're equal to women, that's ridiculous. That's a ridiculous saying. We are not equal.
It's like Ross. You always add something extra.
She said it's like shopping at Ross. You always add something extra. Y'all ever shop at Ross? You see a shirt, you're like, oh, that's a nice shirt. But then when you look on the sleeves, they got some bedazzle on. It's like, nah, the shirt was cool until you put the bedazzle on it. So that's yeah. She said she was doing fine until you did all that at the end.
No, but it's true. I mean, wait. Let's just go with the facts. Are men stronger physically?
I would say so. Yes.
Okay. So in a sport like basketball, not track, but let's go to track. Do men run faster than women?
I would say yes.
In basketball, do men play more above the rim than women?
I would say yes.
Do men physically, if you put a man against a woman in basketball, who would win in most scenarios?
Right. So in that case, they are not equal. They're not
exactly
equal. Physically, they're not equal, but it's levels.
Well, what I'm saying is because of the attributes that men have, we perform at a higher level, which in an entertainment industry aspect, the business aspect, we will get more money and more pay for people to come see us. Now, the women's sport, the WNBA, that's why I say it's two different sports. If you go to a women's basketball game expecting all other stuff, you're delusional. They're two different animals. It's just two different things.
We're gonna let you have that one, brother. I don't know if I got enough drink to even stay on here with you that long. And hello, Gigi Cakes, how you doing? And Facts I Feeling says women are not made to grueling physical sports. I agree. I don't want to be doing all that with no man. Not like that anyway. But I'm talking too much. I need to get on out of here. Brother Ty, he says, okay, Donovan, but do men love harder women?
Yes.
I'm not sorry. Let me read.
Yes. Right. Do men love harder than women? Yes.
Yeah, harder than women. You think y'all do? Okay.
Yes. That's why you see a man when he becomes a dog, because he was hurt by a woman.
I'm going to go on out of here. If I mess around and be 2 sheets to the wind, y'all. No, but anyway, I'm just playing with y'all. I don't even really be drinking like that. But anyway, I love and appreciate y'all. Thank y'all so much for being here with the spirited conversation. Donovan made me work up a sweat, then shriveled my doggone hair up. That's fine. So anyway, we have
a few more grays.
A few more grays, yes. We have ways to donate to the channel if you guys would. We love and appreciate all the members, everybody that's liked, subscribed, that just popped your head in and popped out when y'all saw all the craziness going on. We love and appreciate you. Sunlight says, stop lying. Miss Shantae said, lies. And Facts Not Feeling says, yes, women love differently. Yes, indeed. So love and appreciate y'all. See y'all later. Stay tuned for Tuesday's podcast and Wednesday with Walter. I'm sure he's going to bring some more craziness. I'm going to have to bring 2 shot glasses for him as well. So I will see y'all later. Peace.